Let's boogie, baby. Here we go. It is NHL trade deadline day. The final hour is not quite the 11th hour. It'll literally be 11 a.m. by the time it's the 11th hour. We've got a couple people already tuning in here, so welcome to the stream. If anybody is new here, my name is Nick. You're watching Twisted Wrister Hockey. Hopefully you have a good time hanging out with us talking NHL trade deadline. So if you're new here, there's that big red subscribe button down below. I'll be covering the rest of this season and certainly the postseason and then the off season. So welcome to have you here. And for those returning, it's great to have you back. Make sure to hit that thumbs up because remember that helps others like you discover the channel. We've got Chris, we've got Riley, we've got Ryan. Let's go Wild. The Wildflower, baby. Called it. Straight up called it. Like glass, straight up glass off the boards. Now I'm mixing my sports. I knew it. I knew Fleury, if he wanted to be moved anywhere, it would be the Minnesota Wild. That is the seamless transition. He doesn't have to worry about cutthroat media in Canada. Minnesota sports, we already know they're going to find some sort of way to, the team's going to let you down in the most dramatic way possible, but that's already baked in. So that's why the Flower knew it was up there. And so he decided, all right, let's give it one more ride here with the Wild. Hopefully it turns out okay for him. So yeah, I'll be cheering for the Wild in the postseason and the Panthers, as you guys know. How's Cortana? She's good. She's good. Yeah. Fleury to the Wild. Yep. It's actually happening. I love how they're already calling him the Wildflower too. That's dope. By the way, guys, let me know how the stream is. I mean, my computer is giving me absolute fits. I should have restarted it this morning. I need to really get in on a desktop for this sort of thing. So I'll probably be using Twitter for my on my phone here. So don't mind me if I'm looking at my screen. I'm going to be hanging out here. And you guys, I'm doing this a little covert. I shouldn't be live right now because, I'm kind of on the clock. So anyway, if you guys can show your support here, that's awesome. We've got the super chat going. We've got... Of course, we've got Cortana here. We'll cut to her. Where's my pup? Here we go. Hey, Cortana. What's going on, sweetie? Yeah? You excited about all these moves being made at the trade deadline? Yeah? You being a good girl this morning? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. All right, here we go. Oh, there she goes. There she goes in action. There she is. All right. All right. Ooh, all right. And then, of course, earlier I found out that the Wild have sent goaltender Kaapo Kähkönen to the San Jose Sharks in exchange for defenseman Jake Middleton and a 5th-round pick. Audio's a little out of sync. Thanks, Vanessa. Yeah, I heard that yesterday, too. If it's not too bad, then I won't worry about it. But, man, if we're going to crash, then I'll make sure that I spin up a new stream or something like that. But anyway, let's see what else we got going on here. All right. Any other big deals, guys? Yeah, of course, Sharks and Kähkönen, right? I'm curious to see if the Sharks deal James Reimer to anybody. I love all these Kevin... Have you guys seen all the Kevin Weeks memes that are popping out now? It's pretty funny. Good Weeksy. Jeremy Lauzon. Wow. So the Predators last night got Jeremy Lauzon from the Seattle Kraken. A wild reverse retro with Fleury. Well, I mean, dude... My man, he would have to play another season. Remember, he's only under contract through this season. But yeah, Bruins in talks with forward Brian Giante. That's funny. Jeremy Lauzon has not exactly had the best of seasons. But yeah, I figured, Fleury doesn't want another situation for like what happened with Vegas last season, right? So Edmonton is kind of a cutthroat market in a sense. Of course, Toronto is as cutthroat as it gets. So I figured he wouldn't want to go to any of those places. The Flames have had really good backup goaltending this year, so they wouldn't need to make a deal. And so, I figured that if he wanted to go to a team, the Minnesota Wild would be good. Minnesota and Chicago are pretty close to each other. I know because I've actually made that road trip. And, Devontae Adams is going to the Raiders. Good for you guys. I'm glad to keep him off the Packers. Oh, wait, I forgot. Anyway, great to have you guys here on this Monday morning. I hate, man, with the NHL, it's terrible. It's just such an East Coast bias. when you have to have this stuff happen at the effing crack of dawn for tens of millions of people. I hate it. I can't stand it. Anyway, rant over. I woke up this morning. There weren't a bunch of trades that had been made at that moment. So, but of course, when I actually have work stuff going on, that's when the Fleury trade happens. So here I am, rocky like a hurricane, and I am live. Anyway, so let me know, guys, if you hear of any other deals. But I wanted to say, yeah, Jeremy Lauzon being dealt from the Kraken to the Predators. I guess that's kind of one reason why I put this on, because it was the one move I knew about this morning. And they gave up a second to get him. I mean, Seattle, I know that some people didn't like the return for Giordano, but I got to say, man, Seattle's stockpiling a ton of draft picks. Between them and Arizona, man. 2028, the 2028 season is going to be interesting, because one of those teams could win the Stanley Cup. I'm kind of pseudo-joking. And Evander Kane is in Edmonton. Oh, nice, Vanessa. I'm glad you got that. I've seen the Scorpions live when I was, when I was still living in California in Monterey. Yeah, they put on a really good show. One of the best German bands of all time, without question. All right. Well, anyway, let me know, guys, if you're hearing any other rumblings out there. I'm going to be kind of refreshing my phone throughout the course of this stream. Not exactly if I'll stay on for the whole stream. Kind of depends on what else happens around me here. Of course, yeah, Daniel Sprong, I forgot about that. So Daniel Sprong and another asset or two go to the Seattle Kraken, and the Washington Capitals in return receive Marcus Johansson. So Johansson's played for the Capitals in the past. There's Lindholm. Let's see here. Yep, Jake Middleton sent to the Wild in exchange for Kaapo Kähkönen and a 5th rounder. So the Wild getting Kähkönen, and of course Marc-Andre Fleury. I like what I'm seeing for the Wild, most definitely. Kähkönen apparently. Look at his. Sorry guys, look at his J Fresh card here. That's not exactly the best. Anyway, guys, by the way, I sincerely encourage, if you haven't already, in the video description there's a direct link to our merchandising store. So the Salty Tears mug is now available in most teams. I'll talk to you about that in a second. I just got to get a tissue here. All right, here I am. So anyway, yeah, guys, head over to the merch store. That is here. I'll just put I'll put one in the description here, assuming my computer will let me enter something in here. Streamlabs.com/twistedwristerhockey/merch. See if that works. There we go. Yeah, you might want to check that out, because now we have our wonderful new coffee mug designs. Of course, you can put your tea in there, or you can collect tiers from your preferred NHL fan base. And so, yeah, you'll want to check it out, because I have multiple, all these new designs now for, for example, like Bruins, right? It's, here, I'll show you a sample design here. Nathan Beaulieu, that's right. Nathan Beaulieu has been dealt from Winnipeg to Pittsburgh, excuse me. Let's see if I can pull up that picture here. But yeah, guys, so here's the newest design in the merch store. So it has the Twisted Wrister Hockey logo on one side, and then it says, "A perfect day begins with a warm cup of Flyers fans' tears, or Bruins fans' tears, or Avalanche fans' tears." So check out our merch store, because there is likely a design for you there. You'll get a kick out of it, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, Dubois. Yeah, I've been curious actually if the Jets would deal Andrew Kopp, because they reacquired Mason Appleton, who played fairly nicely for them last year too. So I'm curious to see if there's additional moves for the Jets. Then again, the Jets aren't that far out of the playoff race. They could still make it, but they have a puncher's chance at best. Z Smooth, what's going on? Thank you for joining our chat. It's great to have you guys all here. Hopefully I can go live for a little while. I am kind of cutting it close with the thing that pays the bills, so I'm just going to be watching things from that front as well. So anyway, just show your support if you can with a thumbs up. We got the super chat open. I'll be trying to discuss as many of these deals as I can, and hopefully it'd be awesome if I could stay live for the course of this whole stream. Anyway, yeah, I like the Sharks getting a 25-year-old goaltender in Kakinen. That's nice. Stars, hey, Riley, I got one for you. So if you go to the store, there's a Predators theme, right? And it has Stars fans tears in it there. So you can enjoy that if you'd like. The mugs are $15, and not everything, but a fair amount of that goes to supporting the channel. So anyway, we have one for that. We have, what's another good one? I don't know. I have a lot of different rivalries in there, but anyway. So yeah, we'll talk about that more later. Jacob Middleton, So he's on the move to the Wild. I'm gonna miss that mustache of his. Still waiting for the Pens to make another trade. Perhaps a scoring winger for Malkin. Or wait. Oh, to play with Malkin or Crosby. I read that totally wrong. Who was it that I was thinking would be a good fit there? Somebody had asked me, Rickard Rakell. Why not the Pittsburgh Penguins? I think that would be a really good fit. I like the idea of him going there or Nashville. Knights fans tears. I've got that Vanessa, and I've got one that says Sharks fans tears as well. It's in Knights colors. But if you want a different design, let's say you're a Knights fan and you want Kings fans tears, just email me. I always put my email in my video descriptions, and then that way I can spin up another design for you. So anyway, all right, let's see. You're rocking your twisted tee right now? I love it. All right, back to the trades. Why haven't the Rangers made any big deals, guys? They've been very quiet during this deadline. I am a little bit surprised. Let's take a look. Oh, John from Off the Wall Hockey made a Fleury trade video. Always love to support John there. What else are you seeing, everybody? Yeah, nice to see Doug Wilson actually, or well, not Doug Wilson, but the Sharks management team get off their butts. Got to sell Reimer, dude. Let's see here. What else are you guys seeing? No Jakob Chychrun, right? Ryan Reeves. Raquel would be good, but at what price? Well, think about it this way, right? His deal is expiring at the end of this season. Look at the Calle Yarncroke deal, right? So Yarncroke was dealt from Seattle to Calgary for a second, a third, and a seventh. So, and think about it this way: Jeremy Lauzon got he warranted apparently a second round pick. So you could easily get a first out of Raquel, I would think. You could even get a first in like a B tier prospect at this point. Wait, oh, the Rangers, that's their biggest move, getting Ryan Reeves in the offseason. Yeah, it's interesting with Raquel, man, because when the guy was 22 or 23 years old, he looked like he'd be the next perennial 40-goal scorer. So anyway, what's up, Cortana? How we doing, honey? Hey, Donnell, what's going on, dude? Thank you for joining us on our stream here. We'll see just exactly how long I can go for with this. There you go. Watch the stream and play some video games. That's some good multitasking. Or you put my stream on and you got like NHL Network running in the back, or if you're in Canada, obviously TSN and all that stuff. Am I shocked that Fleury got traded from to the Wild? Well, I wasn't entirely sure if Fleury would want to go somewhere else, but I've said it before. If there was one team that he would go to, I literally had the Wild at the top of my list, because that is an easy market to move to. It's literally, it's a 6.5 hour drive from Chicago to Minneapolis. I've made the drive myself. 1, 2, it's not as cutthroat of a sports market versus like Edmonton or Toronto. So Fleury probably wants just like a chill situation to be in. He's going to have opportunity there, which is great. But it's not like I don't think all the pressure is going to be on him per se. So anyway, Dan, what's going on? Had to stop by for a second and see if Grice is still a Red Wing. Man, that would be at the most a footnote in all these trade deadline talks, but I haven't seen anything just yet. Congratulations on your 7th round draft pick for Troy Stetcher. Come here. Where's dog? Where's my doggo? Come here. Come here. Psst, psst. Here, shake and bake. What are you doing, goofball? Come here, Cortana. Come here. Come here. Everybody wants to say hi to you. Yeah? All right, here. Here she is. Here's the doggo. Yeah, she's being a good girl this morning. Yes, you are. Uh-huh. Good girl, Cortana. Oh, such a sweetheart. Here, let's give her a treat, guys. Yeah, who wants to give her a treat? Oop. I had that way out of focus there. There we go. We'll give this girl a treat. I'm rocking my Preds. Yeah, man. This reverse retro has been great. The best part, I mean, the font for the numbers, bellissimo. I love it. But, man, and the logo detailing, look at that. That's just beautiful here, too. With all the silver and the little bit of yellow for the eye. But, man, it's the silver shoulder yoke. It's stretchy. It's silky. I love it. If you have a request for... Yes. Thank you, CJ. So, yeah, guys, make sure you check out my merch store for the Salty Tears mugs. There will be a mug for whatever your biggest rival is. You got to check that out. Support the channel that way. Or you can always super chat. You can always PayPal me. All that good stuff. But having you here, that's where all where the groundwork happens. All right, I said I would give Cortana a treat here. So we got these that CJ had sent in his most recent box of goodies here. You got the shake and bake reference? Yeah. So it was funny. That was one of the first things I taught her, where I don't know why, it was part of her dog training. Don't worry, guys, we'll talk trades. The idea is, like, how do you get your dog to, like, come back to you? I don't know. It was one sort of way to recall. And so I just did shake and bake. Some people just wanted the dog to, like, touch, right? So that would be the command. But I said, no, we got to make this fun. It's got to be shake and bake. What year is that 5th round pick? I don't know, Trevor. Check Cap Friendly if you haven't already. I didn't know I had the Preds reverse retro jersey with... Yeah, man. If you want to see it in full, if you haven't seen the unboxing video from a couple weeks ago, definitely check that out. Here we go. Here's a treat for Cortana. Whoop! Atta girl. Don't worry, we'll have more of these too. All right. Yeah, so... Anyway, yeah, Marc-Andre Fleury is a member of the Wildflower. I love it. I'm excited, man. You know, Fleury has played for Vegas before, and you know he technically did beat us. You know, his team beat us in the Stanley Cup final. Bruin, what's going on? But I've always liked Fleury. Actually, my favorite moment from Marc-Andre Fleury was 2009 in the Cup final in Game 7 when he, you know, kind of dives across like to hug the goalpost at the very end against the Red Wings, and then the Penguins hang on and win. Yes, I actually have rooted for the Penguins in 2 Stanley Cup finals before. So there you go. All right, good girl Cortana. Yeah, she's ready to hang out and hopefully see some more deals come through, right? All right, what else is going on, guys? Do we have any other moves to report here? Let's take a lookie. Oh, no Subaru. Now's not the time to see one of your ads. Jake Middleton. Yeah, of course, a lot of Sharks accounts in my Twitter feed here because that's my team. Do I see the Rangers, Islanders, or Devils do anything? Yeah, you know, Danelle, I was kind of hoping that Zach Parise would be a name that would surface. I haven't heard anything about the Devils. Rangers, they've been really quiet. I'm actually pretty puzzled about that, but maybe they're just trying to go in on Jakob Chychrun or something. All right, let's see what else we got. Something to keep an eye on today, Philip Zindina. That's just a Sharks account that I follow. Cap Friendly hasn't updated yet. Okay, I'll let you know if I find out, though, okay? What else are you guys seeing here? So, yeah, of course, we heard last night that Mason Appleton went back to the Winnipeg Jets. And just for a 4th-round pick, by the way, I think that's a good value in return for Winnipeg to deal. Because Appleton, he didn't have like a huge season last year, but he definitely bumped up his productivity quite a bit. And again, Andrew Kopp is a free agent, so they might actually plan to like move Appleton full-time to that 3-center spot. You rooted for the Red Wings during the 08 and 09 finals. Well, I guess, yeah, the Bruins and the Red Wings haven't had like a super fierce rivalry. And besides, back then, of course, the Red Wings were still in the Western Conference. So that makes sense. Man, I miss those days. I miss the Red Wings being in the Western Conference. Of course, No Coyotes fans here, right? If the Coyotes moved to Houston, or, well, not Houston, but they'd have to go to, like, Quebec. But if somebody else moved to the Eastern time zone, then the Red Wings could come back to the West. I would love that. But, I mean, of course, yeah, because then that way you would have 2 teams in the Central that are original 6 teams. Anyway, the Devils might trade Subban, even though he still has 1 year left on his contract. Okay. Severson, you're right, though. I did hear Severson a few days ago, but I don't know any teams that were, like, specific teams reportedly interested in making an offer. Chara, I wouldn't think that Chara would be traded unless he really wanted to. But anyway, yeah, having the Red Wings in the Western Conference, those were the good old days. San Antonio? Well, I mean, even if you put a team in San Antonio, I'm not saying it's a bad market, right? They had the rampage there for a while for the American Hockey League. But, I mean, you would still need to put a Western Conference team in the Eastern time zone in order to get the Red Wings to come back to the West. Back-to-back cups are something that do not happen nearly as often these days, that's for sure. Here we go, guys. Hearing from Frank Saravalli, so obviously very legitimate source. The Oilers are acquiring Brett Kulak from the Habs. That's all I know for right now, though. So Brett Kulak could be on the move to Edmonton as they build out some depth defense there. That makes sense. Probably not for a huge return, but again, Lauzon, he garnered a second-round pick the other way. So possibly a decent draft pick. Let's take a look, y'all. It's a sin that I got my hair cut. I appreciate her support of the flow. I really do. Or Rickard Rakell, could he fit in with the Boston Bruins, especially since they also acquired Lindholm? The Rangers could trade Georgiev. You know, though, the thing, though, is that like Georgiev's name has been mentioned in trade rumors for the last, 2 years. And this is, his worst season, too. So I'm really not sure, to be honest. Anton Forsberg. Okay, thank you. 3 by $2.75 million. That's a good paycheck for him. He's earned it this year. He's played pretty well from what I've seen. I don't watch the Senators all that much, but that's a good contract for him. What about the Lightning? Oh yeah. Well, I mean, hashtag cap is a myth, right? That's so ridiculous. Anyway. Okay. Nicely done, Trevor. Yeah. So the Senators, they extend Forsberg and net. That'll be interesting to see, though, because remember, they had signed Matt Murray, one. JT, I think you're, Z-Smooth, I think you mean JT Miller, not TJ Miller from Silicon Valley. I once co-founded the company Aviato. Anyway, I have not heard anything about JT Miller at all. The speculation from the experts, right? The good ones too, like Friedmans and whatnot out there. They were saying that the Canucks were more likely to deal Connor Garland than JT Miller. I found that interesting. Garland would be a great deal because he's only making $5 million or so for the next 4 seasons. He's in the prime of his career, and he's just a scrappy, tough son of a gun who can put up some points. I mean, whoever acquires him next, right? But I haven't heard anything about Garland over the last several days at all. But then again, I'm a Z-list insider at this point? Have I even made it to that point in my YouTubing career? Anyway, here I go with just making sure that that I'm not goofing anything up as it pertains to paying the bills. So just a moment here. Let's check this out. Do a refresh of the inbox. Okay, everything's good. Good. Got my energy drink here. I got my puppers. I've got you guys. And I've got Salty Tears designs in my merch store. So if you're interested in acquiring a coffee mug with a hilarious design to it, there's a link to our merch store in the video description. That'd be interesting, though, if JT Miller got dealt. I thought that he would be a really good fit for, again, at the time the Bruins could use him. The Wild could have been a fit for him. Again, I really like the idea of the Wild. If they could have gotten Tomas Hertl, that would have been monster, dude. I imagine that top 9, right? You would have had like Hartman, Kaprizov, Zuccarello. That would have been your second line. Your first line probably would have been Hurdle, Fiala, Boldy, and then your third would have been Greenway, Eriksson Ek, and Foligno. Like that top 9 is awesome. But anyway, apparently that did not go through, or that did not even come close to manifesting. I love Tomas Hurdle. I just wish that the Sharks, have been able to lean more into the idea of like rebuilding. Honestly, hi Cortana. But Hurdle stays a Shark. Anyway, all right. What else is going on, guys? Do you see any other contract extensions? Remember, we saw Hampus Lindholm sign in Boston for an 8-year deal. And looks like we've got a fair amount of viewers here. So welcome, everybody. It's awesome to have you here on trade deadline day. Hope you're having a great time. If you are, show your support with a thumbs up. That helps others like you discover this channel. The goal here is to build this hockey community as big as we can make it. Hopefully get at least to 3,000 subscribers as we get into the postseason. And yeah, it's wonderful to have you all along for the ride here. And so hopefully we see some other deals go down. I would love for that to happen, most definitely. So we'll be keeping an eye on the Twitter feed. I got my phone loaded up for that, so don't mind me if my eyes are off camera here. Unless I go like this, I guess. All right, what else is happening, my friends? What else is happening? Let's take a look. Justin Braun is heading to the New York Rangers, according to Jeff Merrick. This was a move I've been waiting for, not specifically Justin Braun, but the Rangers needed more veteran presence on their blue line, in my opinion. Shesterkin can't do it all himself. Justin Braun, not an amazing defenseman, but he is very seasoned. He's made deep playoff runs before. He's been an excellent defensive partner. You see somebody like Marc-Andre Fleury was able to flourish because Justin Braun was able to adapt to his needs quite well as well. Yeah, I like that one, Paul. I like the Rangers getting Braun. I'm curious to know if they would try to upgrade their second pairing as well, but that should help. Yeah, the Oilers did also acquire Brett Kulak from Montreal, or at least that's what Saravalli believes has happened. I don't know what the return was. So we'll probably find out the return on some of these deals a little bit later on. So, of course, to reiterate that's Justin Braun from the Flyers being dealt to the New York Rangers. And then, of course, as CJ points out here, the Edmonton Oilers have added some blue line depth by acquiring Brett Kulak in exchange for... That is yet to be determined. Okay, let me close my Twitter feed here. There we go. Sharks legend Justin Braun. Yeah, man. I mean, Justin Braun was a good Shark for quite some time. And guys, Justin Braun was a 7th round draft pick. So you gotta put some respect on his name, most definitely. Wow, my frame rate is horrible from what I see here. Anyway, don't mind me. Sharks legend Justin Braun. It's interesting. We actually had Sharks legend Mike Hoffman in our stream yesterday. JZF, you were here yesterday, actually, yeah? So, yeah, welcome back, of course. All right, what else am I seeing here, though? One of our Rangers fans, Evan, a.k.a. Core Python, does not like this move of Justin Braun coming to the Rangers. And speaking of which, Core Python is going to be our guest for Thursday's video. We're going to be talking Rangers. All right, Vanessa, have a great rest of the day. Let's see what we all have here. Okay. Interesting. I'm just looking at the Leafs line combinations. So, Bunting, Matthews, Marner, Kerfoot, Tavares, Nylander, Mikheyev, Kampf, and Engvall, Clifford, Spezza, Simmons. So, very chippy, grizzled veteran bottom line there. No Andre Kasha. I don't know if that's for injury purposes. But Kasha's had a very nice season. Good kind of like rebound for his career. Pavelski, yeah. Pavelski was a 7th rounder. Guys, don't forget, Pekka Rinne was a 7th rounder as well. And, wasn't Shesterkin not even drafted or something ridiculous like that? Thank you, Riley. Yeah, man, this Preds jersey is awesome. I love it. Without question, the best in my collection. But I want to get that alternate that they had during the Reebok era. You keep refreshing Puck Report? Yeah. Let's see here. Hey. Let's see. Come on, guys. We need some more. Okay, here we go. Here's a good one from Pierre LeBrun. Not a trade, but a very important bit nonetheless. Okay, so let's take a look. Thank you, Eustace. Danke. All right. Pierre LeBrun says, not that there was really any great danger of it happening, I don't think, but all signs point to Philip Forsberg staying put in Nashville because he's a UFA, and so if Nashville, if they want to keep riding out this core that they have, they should extend him. He recently became the franchise's all-time goal-scoring leader. I think he has like 211 or so. Saw the whole video for the Preds Reverse Retro. Oh, thank you. Oh, you had seen it before. Alex Biega to the Predators. I didn't even know Alex Biega was playing any games. I didn't know he was still in the NHL. So Alex Biega to the Predators. They also added Jeremy Lauzon. And let's see, have they made any other big moves in Nashville? Nothing's coming to my head right now. That's one team I'm surprised who has not made a run at somebody like, I don't know, Korpisalo or Georgiev, because David Rittich has not been cutting it for them in net. Of course, they don't need to worry so much about goaltending in the sense that as long as Saros is healthy, they'll be fine. But the problem is that they're trying to secure a playoff spot. I mean, I don't see a gaping reason why they're going to miss the playoffs, but do know that, the Predators are going to have to start Saros the rest of the way because Rittich has not been a good backup goaltender for them this year, and you don't want a tired goaltender going into the playoffs. So that's why I would have liked them to, made a run at a goaltender like a Georgiev or a Korpisalo, somebody who doesn't have too high of a cap hit. That's our goaltender situation. Is there any update on Reimer? Reimer's name has been swirling quite a bit. I think the Sharks are going to really be missing out if they're not able to deal Reimer, honestly, because now they'll have Aiden. Presumably it would be Kaapo Kähkönen and Aiden Hill as the tandem, which I don't mind for a team that's not going to be in the playoffs, so that's fine. Oh, by the way, guys, the Rangers have dealt a third-round draft pick for Justin Braun. You'd have to imagine that the return for somebody like Nick Leddy would be better. I would think so as well. But Lauzon garnered a second-round draft pick. Justin Braun fetched a third. So it's most definitely a seller's market. Yeah, that's good for the Flyers, I have to say. They could take Greiss. The Greiss man. All right. Thank you for keeping us abreast of our transactional movements, my friends. Alex Biega to the Preds. Again, I didn't even know that guy was playing in the NHL. All right. Who are the big names still left on the board? Jakob Chychrun has to be the biggest, right? Ricard Raquel's another big one. 5 goaltenders at the moment. Yeah, but I mean, how many of them, like Stalock and Sawchenko, those guys aren't NHL goaltenders. I mean, Sawchenko had like 2 good starts, right? Like, he did fine, but I'm not banking on him being an NHL goaltender. Think of it kind of like the Josef Kozhinosh, situation last year. Yeah, he actually played really well, but he certainly didn't turn out to be a goaltender. He got to Arizona, and we saw what happened. But yeah, I don't mind Hill and a tandem of Hill and Kähkönen. Get a player with any of our goaltenders. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we don't necessarily need an NHL player. I think that if we can get, we need to get our second round draft pick for this year. We don't have one, or 2, get a defensive prospect, like a good defensive prospect, because the Sharks are pretty thin when it comes to the quality of their defensive prospects right now. Islanders and Coyotes could do a trade. Really, the Islanders could get Chychrun, and the Coyotes would get Josh Bailey, Oliver Wahlstrom, a 2023 first, and a 2024 second round pick. That is a big haul. But the question is, the Islanders, they're kind of an old team. So, do they really think that that's the best use of assets? Josh Bailey, how much of a part of is, or how much of a role does he have with the franchise going forward? Wallstrom's been kind of slow in his development. Do they want to be coughing up draft picks when they're in what they think is the win now mode still? I don't know. That sounds puzzling to me, to be honest, because the Islanders' cap situation is very it's tough. Think about how much Anders Lee still makes. Think about how much, I don't know, Anthony Beauvillier makes. Think about how much Matt Barzal makes. I would be puzzled if I saw that move, frankly. But that's just my initial reaction. Because, yeah, the Islanders, they could, I don't know if they'll fall fast because they got Barry Trotz as their head coach, but I don't know if that's strategically in their best of interests. All right, what else are we seeing here, guys? All right, the Sharks have made it official on their social media. So Kaapo Kähkönen acquired in exchange for defenseman Jacob Middleton, and a 22, a fifth-round draft pick for this year goes to San Jose as well. So I do like that. All right. Also, guys, there's a prospect from the Wild, Jack Mcbain. If you guys know anything about him, he was dealt to the Minnesota Wild like last night. There was a kind of an asset package there. I don't know too much about Mcbain. I'd heard his name mentioned in other rumblings, but that was just about it. So if you have any more info on Mcbain, by all means, let us know here. Here we go. From Michael Russo, hearing Dmitry Kulikov is changing his number, and now. Oh, okay. So Kulikov plays on the Wild right now. Sometimes I forget where he is too. He bounces around quite a bit. So Kulikov for the Wild usually wears number 29, but he's going to switch to number 7. That way, Marc-Andre Fleury can wear 29. Those are the things that you like to see, right? Anyway, guys, I appreciate you hanging out with us here. If you haven't already, if you're having a good time with us, smash that like button. Anybody new coming in here, there's that big red subscribe button calling your name as well. And join us as we react to moves that are made here at the trade deadline. And of course, we'll be doing other live streams throughout the regular season and most likely the playoffs as well, and hopefully through the off season too. What else do we have going on here, guys? I feel bad for the kid who turned 12 and wanted a Yarncroak stick, but was traded earlier that day. Oh, that is a little rough. It's one of those things though where if you can get a hold of the Kraken PR team or social media team, they'll make that connection, and maybe like Yarncroak could or they could mail a puck or something, because sometimes they have signed apparel and memorabilia on hand like that. But that is a bit rough. By the way, the Panthers, they added more than just Sherratt too, right? They also got Robert Haig. That's right. I was just looking at a Panthers tweet here. Troy Stecher, to recap, remember Troy Stecher went from the Red Wings to the LA Kings, and all the Red Wings got was a 7th. So if Justin Braun gets a 3rd, if Jeremy Lauzon fetches a 2nd, and the Red Wings can only get a 7th for Troy Stecher, that is a little weak sauce. All right, guys, do you see anything else here? And, oh, God. Here's a good dad joke. Remember, Marcus Johansson dealt from Seattle to the Washington Capitals, and in exchange, Daniel Sprong and something else went to the Kraken. Somebody just tweeted, "You could say spring has sprung in Seattle." All right, let's take a look. Looking for other deals here, friends. Yeah, so in exchange for Marcus Johansson, the Seattle Kraken acquired Daniel Sprong, a 2022 4th-round pick, and a 2023 6th-round pick. I don't know if Sprong has any more years on his deal. I would think not, but you gotta love what Ron Francis is doing, stockpiling draft picks, and he's going to have lots of cap space in the offseason, so we could see a totally different Kraken team on the ice next year. Let me know if you guys see anything else out there. Per JFresh Hockey, Marc-Andre Fleury traded in Minnesota is a wildly inconsistent veteran goalie who is beloved in the locker room and by fans. Yeah, but I mean, he was playing on a crappy Chicago team. So I don't think that was, a full representation of what he can offer to Minnesota. Breaking news. Oh, this was from 10 minutes ago. This was the Alex Biega trade. So the Leafs sent Biega to Nashville for future considerations. But sometimes those future considerations can pan out into something miraculous, basically. Justin Braun. What's been the most important trade so far? Okay. I immediately think of, I don't know if it's the most important, but I think that the fortification that the Bruins made by acquiring Hampus Lindholm, I think that shows they're not messing around. You could argue Fleury as well as an important move because Minnesota's goaltending was not holding up there over the past 6 weeks or so. So I would consider that as the most important move. I'll let you know if anything else surfaces. But yeah, good question, CJ, for the viewers in the chat. Gonna just make sure nothing's on fire with work. How are we doing? So far, so good. Okay, good. All right. I'm like, what do I drink? Powerade? These are both berry flavored. Do I do Powerade? Do I do energy drink? You like the Bruin likes the Lindholm deal too. And if anybody has any difference of opinions, please, I welcome them. That's totally fine here because you're all wonderful. How's Cortana? She's a little bored right now, frankly. I played with her a bunch yesterday. Of course, it's a dog, so their memory lasts about 4 seconds. But don't worry, after this, we'll probably reward her by taking her to like a park or something like that. She'll like that quite a bit. Kings got Braden Burke. I don't even know who these guys are. I know who Brian Burke is, but that's about it. That's almost like an AHL deal or something, huh? Either that or I just haven't been watching those teams enough. Checking the Twitter feed. Let's take a look here. Oh, the Sharks, by the way, in this Capo Kakinen deal for Jake Middleton, the Sharks actually reacquired their 2022 fifth round pick that was dealt for Devin Dubnyk. So actually, the Sharks do gain something regardless. That's interesting. Devin Dubnyk, man, that was kind of a crappy ending to his NHL career. But I like Devin Dubnyk. He's a funny dude. I like him. What the hell? Does anybody follow NHL Rumor Bot? I do not understand why they send out these random tweets. They're very, very random and wildly inaccurate, like on purpose. But anyway. As long as it comes from you, CJ, it's reliable. How about Connor McDavid to the Jets? Let's see here. Appleton. Yeah. Again, Mason Appleton goes back to the Jets. That happened last night. Jets only had to give up a fourth, but they do have to sign him. I think he's a restricted free agent next year. What's going on with Tampa? Yeah, Tampa only has $5,000 in cap space. Apparently, like in one of their deals, one other team like retained like $4,500 of somebody's salary So then that way the Lightning aren't over the cap. That's how thin the tightrope is for the Lightning. It'll be interesting to see, if the Lightning are done making moves. They got Brandon Hagel. They also made another move to get Nick Paul from the Ottawa Senators. I'm sure that you guys probably saw that one yesterday as well. But it'll be interesting to see if how those guys kind of compare to some of the others that they've brought in through the trade deadline in the past. I, of course, draw on that third line they had with Blake Coleman, Barclay Goodrow, and Yanni Gourde. But, of course, all those guys are elsewhere now. But I thought that they were so instrumental to the team winning their 2 Stanley Cups. So we'll see how Hagel performs, what kind of role he has there. Can Tampa still play with that nastiness that they were able to bring with that line of players? Pierre-Edouard Bellemare was a nice acquisition, but he's not necessarily like a nasty player. Corey Perry, he can be a nasty player. Pat Maroon can be just a dingus, but in a good way, I suppose. Ho hi, what's up, Blano? Who's your favorite team? What is your what do you think has been the best move of the trade deadline so far? Thank you for saying hello and for joining us here. So the Rangers, all they've done is get Justin Braun, sending a third. That's a nice return for the Flyers, I gotta say. Oh, here we go. Per David Pagnotta, the Ducks continue to work the phones on Ricard Raquel, with the Rangers among the teams still believed to be interested. Again, I would like to see them or the Bruins possibly get Raquel. The Avalanche have been super quiet for the most part after the Josh Manson deal. Oh, you're a Blues fan? Wow, we've got a lot of Blues fans here actually. I'm a Sharks fan. But somehow I've attracted a lot of St. Louis fans. But I love you guys. Yeah, you're awesome. So it's great to have you along. What have the Blues done at the trade deadline? They've been really quiet. I figured that they could have used kind of like a second pairing defenseman. So that was, I think, their biggest need. Because originally I thought if Giordano was going to be traded anywhere, I thought the Blues would have made the most sense. But let me know your thoughts about that. Because I have not heard the Blues in many trade talks at all. You like the Justin Braun trade? You guys gave up a third rounder. That's a good return for Philadelphia. But I do like the idea, kind of like St. Louis. I think that New York and St. Louis needed to add more experience to the blue line. So if Braun's going to play, 17 minutes on the third pair, that's a good place for him. He's not going to wow you with transitioning the puck out of the zone, but Sharks fans generally like him. He didn't have the greatest end to his time in San Jose, but then again, we see that Vlasic isn't exactly doing the same either. So I don't think that's a bad acquisition. The Rangers had to do something. So what else is going on here? Twizzler. Oh yeah, also the Rangers. I'm sorry, I totally missed that. Obviously last week they had acquired Frank Vetrano for only a 4th round draft pick. So you look at this situation, right? They deal away a 4th, they get Vetrano. They deal away a 3rd, they get Braun. That's actually not bad. Oh, and Trevor, if you're still around, the 5th round draft pick that the Sharks acquired in the Middleton Kakinen deal, that is for this year. So the Sharks have an extra 5th for this year. I think we have actually 3 7ths. But again, the Sharks, they gotta definitely get James Reimer on the block here and get that 2nd round pick. Maybe a B tier prospect in addition. Rangers, Avalanche, and Lightning might make the most sense for Ricard Raquel. Let's see. What else we got here? The Avalanche are going to make many more moves. Trying to dissect what I thought they might do, but I don't know. This was made. I think Mike Johnston might have made this point yesterday. I don't know. I was watching the NHL Network. Somebody was saying that why aren't the Avs, trying to bolster the top 6? Because a lot of people wanted them to get Giroux, and I didn't think it would make that much sense. Excuse me, but when you look at the top 6, especially that second line, it hasn't. Even though Kadri's been really carrying it, right? Burakovsky, and why am I drawing a blank on who else plays on that line? But they haven't been quite the same as they've been in the past in terms of like the distribution of productivity. Donnybrook, what's happening? Who is winning the trade deadline so far? Minnesota and Florida. Minnesota adding a little defensive reliability with Jake Middleton. Good move. They also get Fleury. I think, what was it for? A conditional... Was it a conditional second that could become a first? Excuse me. That's just off the top of my head what I thought it might be. But yeah, I like Minnesota addressing their goaltending situation. Again, I think that the Wild should have looked to upgrade at the second center position because, again, any upgrade over Freddie Gaudreau, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but a two center, right? If you had somebody like Tomas Hertl or Claude Giroux or even somebody like Max Domi, who I don't think was at practice on the ice today for the Jackets. If they would have had Max Domi to play alongside like Kevin Fiala and also Matt Boldy, that would have been a big upgrade. So I am thinking that they have kind of missed out on that. But and I do want to make a trade deadline winners and losers. But yeah, of course, the Wild are making a couple of good moves. Florida making good moves as well, even though they're giving up stuff in return. But that's just the nature of the business. And Florida is really not in a position to wait any longer, not just because of bringing in like Joe Thornton, but I think Huberdeau's a UFA after this year too. Scott Wedgewood going to Dallas. Man, the Stars have just had a revolving door of goaltenders. But, you know, I think Wedgewood's played fairly well for Arizona this year. And speaking of Arizona, guys, don't forget that Carl Vejmelka has been extended on a, I think, 2 or 3 year deal as well. And I'm really happy for him. Just because he walked into a complete S show, if you know what I mean, toward the first third of the season. And he's battled and he's played, I think, fairly well from what I've seen. So I'm really happy to see Vejmelka get an opportunity to stay as a full-time NHLer. What's up, Matthew? Let's see here. The Sharks keeping Hertl for such a long time. I definitely recommend checking my video out. I did a full-on analysis of that. Yeah, I mean, it's a business decision. It's really based on the Sharks having such a bad time with selling tickets right now. And so to, alleviate that in the short term, the idea was they got to keep the face of their franchise, who I think is Tomas Hertl. But that's just kind of one aspect there. So definitely check out my video on that. The Rangers got Braun from the Flyers. Well, yeah, the Flyers got a third-round draft pick third-rounder in return. That's good because Braun, I think, is a UFA after this year. Goodbye, Blackwell, Mark, and Appleton. Hey, Ron Francis has stockpiled his assets, man. And imagine he could always do this too, right? He could package a second and a third for next year and get like a late first-round draft pick in return. So he can do more moves with those draft picks as we get closer to draft day too. So the Kraken could be a totally remade team as we head into next season. Yeah, Marcus Johansson also has been traded, right? So the Kraken get Daniel Sprong and a fifth, and I think something else too. Yep, you got it, Matthew. Conditional second is correct. A great point about buffing up that center position. Defense and goaltending lacking since the break. Yeah, I mean, I would think it would be attributed more toward the goaltending. I mean, I don't watch like every Wild game, but I do watch them a fair amount. Having Matt Dumba out of the lineup for that stretch was not good, obviously. But I think it was at least partially attributed to the play in net. Because yeah, you don't want to go into the into the Cup playoffs with the Cup playoffs. You don't want to go into the playoffs with like kind of an inconsistent Cam Talbot and somebody like Kakkonen who's not even proven in the postseason. So getting Fleury was important for them. Absolutely was. Man, Marc-Andre Fleury. So wait, that is his fourth team? Yeah. Because Pittsburgh, Vegas, yeah, Chicago, and now Minnesota. Anyway, guys, wonderful to have you here. Hope you're having a good time with us. And if you are, make sure to hit that thumbs up, because again, that helps others like you discover this channel. And see that video description, because we have new coffee mug designs in our merch store. And I'll just give you an example here if I can pull it up on my phone. I just uploaded, I think, 25 different designs or 25 different variations. It says, a perfect day begins with a warm cup of Flyers fans' tears. So basically think of the team that you despise the most, and there is an option in the color scheme for your favorite team. So we have, Maple Leafs colors, and it says Bruins fans tears or Habs fans tears. We have Bruins colors, and it says Leafs fans tears or Habs fans tears. We have Sharks colors that says Knights fans tears. We have Knights colors, and it says Sharks fans tears. And it's got the recolored Twisted Wrister logo on that as well. $15. And again, that helps support the channel. Fleury won't play tonight. Oh yeah, that's really interesting since they're playing Vegas. But I wouldn't think that he'd be playing tonight. That'd be crazy. That'd be awesome, though. And if you got like a shutout. Dmitry Kulak is changing his number. That's right. Kulak is changing from 29 to number 7. So then that way Fleury can have his usual number. I always love seeing that. Fleury's a legend, man. Even though he played for a team that I rooted against for several years, even though he played for Pittsburgh. I mean, Fleury is probably one of those players, one of my favorite players from who primarily played on a team that I don't root for, that I don't like. So, although, as CJ knows and as a lot of people know, the water's kind of under the bridge with Pittsburgh. I think I'm okay with them now. But anyway, let's see. Any other updates, my friends? What do we got going on here? Hey, what's up, Joey? Hey, Joey, we've got new Salty Tears coffee mugs in the store. So we've got, check this out. So a perfect day begins with a warm cup of Leafs fans' tears. There's literally a design for that in our store with Bruins colors. So you can enjoy that if you so desire. I thought you would find that funny. I also have one that says, it's in Bruins colors, and it says, a perfect day begins with a cup of Habs fans' tears. So there you go. All right. Any other dizzles? Oh, sick. And I see the sticker. Thank you for... Look at that. Look at Joey here. He's rocking the Twisted T. For his super chat, I sent him a t-shirt. And I know there's overexposure here, but he also has a Twisted Wrister sticker that's been recolored in Bruins colors. So if you guys want stickers, I could upload some designs for that in the next day or so, because I have those recolorings. Okay, the Sharks are dangling both Matt Nieto and Nick Bonino, but they're both under contract next year. So it will be more difficult to move those guys. The good thing is that they're both on very affordable deals. Bonino, his productivity has dropped a ton this year, but he wins faceoffs. I know the Sharks' penalty kill has been leaky over the past 4 or 5 games, but they've been second for a long time this season, and Nieto is the linchpin of that PK. Really, guys, hear me out on this one. Nick Bonino needs to go to Colorado. That would be a perfect fit. The Avalanche have a bad penalty kill. They could really use his help there, and he's at a $2.25 million cap hit for 1 more year, I believe. I think that's a good deal. A little bit more sandpaper in that lineup is important. So I would like to see him dealt to Colorado. That would be a really good deal. And they could package Matt Nieto, who's part of that PK as well. And don't forget, guys, Nieto has played in Colorado before too. I think that needs to be done. I'm calling it right now, guys. I'm calling it right now. Shang Peng. I'm gonna retweet that. I'm calling it. Nieto and Bonino, they'll go to the Colorado Avalanche. I'm gonna say it. What better fit than Nieto's former club, the Avs? What better fit than Nieto's former club, the Avs, if they need to improve in one category? It's the PK. Here are two pieces at an affordable rate. Bam. please give us Alex Newhook and a 2022 second round pick. There we go. I love that idea. Doug Wilson and crew, make it happen. Let's send Nieto and Bonino packing to the Avs. Let's get some assets. They can improve their PK. That would be such a freaking perfect deal. Trade Chychrun for Lindell. What's up, Matt? Apologies on my delays with things, by the way, buddy. Like I said, the more you push me, the more I'll make it happen for you. But yeah, thank you for dropping in, brother. Chychrun for Lindell. That would be amazing. When was the last time we saw like two, rookie standout and a young Norris caliber defenseman? A deal like that go down? That'd be really interesting. Awesome to have everybody dropping in here, making an appearance. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope that you are using your time wisely by hanging out with us. What else is going on here, friends? Oh, we got something in the chat. Okay. Something came in work-wise, and it was just a thank you to me. So I'm like, okay, we're good. You got it. I said, yeah, of course I'll take a look at that form this afternoon. Because obviously the trade deadline ends at noon Pacific. Bam. All right. Are we seeing anything else come in, ladies and gentlemen? This Braun trade is the fattest dub ever as long as Nemeth isn't playing. I can respect that. That's Core Python, big Rangers fan. Yes, Bonino. Nick Bonino. Hey, at least we get those calls as well when he scores for us. It's not just you're not just giving me PTSD from 2016. Joe McDonald, I don't know what his outlet is, but he says if the Bruins do anything else before the deadline, maybe some depth on defense. So it doesn't look like they're going to be in on Rickard Rakell, which, again, I think that would be a really interesting possibility. Let's see here. Scott Wedgewood was asking for less than $1 million for 1 year, but everything the Coyotes are doing appears to be focused on a few years down the road. So Wedgewood, again, last night, he's going to go to the Dallas Stars. Braden Holtby is injured. Anton Hudobin's out for the year, and he hasn't even been playing in the NHL, really. So, not a bad move in kind of a pinch for the Dallas Stars. But again, the Dallas Stars are still... Here we are on trade deadline day, 2 hours away from the deadline expiring, and the Dallas Stars are still a one-line team. Why don't the Dallas Stars get Rickard Rakell? Seriously. Why don't they get Rickard Rakell? The Stars would be a great fit for him. Doesn't look like they're going to trade John Klingberg either. Yeah, so, by the way, guys, Cam Talbot is going to start tonight against Vegas, so Fleury is not going to be between the pipes. What else are you guys seeing? I'm taking a look at my Twitter feed for those of you curious. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else just yet. Who's the goalie on the Coyotes that's going to get traded, or has he? Yeah, so Scott Wedgewood has already been traded from the Coyotes. I don't know if they're going to trade anybody else. I'm surprised that Phil Kessel hasn't been rumored to go anywhere, because originally I love the idea of Kessel on the Capitals, but they have figured out their power play over the last several games, so they don't need to worry about him as much or about acquiring him. But yeah, Karl Vejmelka was extended by the Coyotes last night. Yeah, I love seeing Vejmelka resign. That guy has battled and he has taken the poverty franchise and made them competitive to beat teams like, they've beaten the Avalanche twice, right? Anyway, guys, give me just one moment. I got to use the restroom, but I'll put the camera on Cortana for you. She's actually sleeping right now, so it's kind of cute. Let's see if we can do this. Oh no, can I get the camera on here? We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. Let's see here. Do we have it locked on Cortana? I think we do. Just give me 1 minute, guys. Hey, what's up, Jake? Take care of Kakinen. Yeah, you guys have a great time with Jake Middleton. He'll stick up for you guys. Oh, shoot. Here, we got to bring it, like, closer. We're going to get Cortana in here. Here we go. We can do it. Wait, no, that's not doing it. Come on, Cortana. There she is. There's a good girl. All right. Anyway, guys, I'll be right back. I just got to use the restroom, okay? You stay there, okay? Who's a good girl? Good girl. All right. All right. I'm surprised that did not take longer. I have a couple of cups of coffee in me, plus I also have now an energy drink, but it is all natural. Okay, right here. Eyes up. Here we go. Oh, God. I almost dropped my monitor. You don't want that to happen. All right. Anyway, thank you guys so much for sticking around here. Hope you're having a good time. Make sure to smash that like if you are. We got the super chat open if you want to show your support for the channel that way. I always appreciate that. Or buy some merch, all that good stuff here. Cortana is so cute. Well, thank you so much, Donnybrook. By the way, do you follow Fritz and Donnybrook on Twitter? Old time hockey, right? But I think hockey is spelled Hawkey. Not Twitter, Instagram or TikTok. Old time hockey with Fritz and Donnybrook. Talk about a cute doggy. Great account. Probably my favorite account to follow on Instagram for hockey, at least. Besides cute animals, because I follow all kinds of cute animals. The Colts are trying to acquire Matt Ryan. Whoa, that's crazy. Because Philip Rivers worked out so well, huh? Vemelka. Hi, girl. Good girl. Okay, well, I can't do that right now, girl. You're going to have to take a nap for a little while. Anyway. All right, let's refresh the Twitter feed here. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, I really do think that the Avalanche and the Sharks should make a deal. Taking a look at my feed here to see if anything else is surfacing. Oh, I didn't even hear about this one from Kevin Weeks, guys. The Jets are trading Brian Little's contract to the Arizona Coyotes. So I imagine that the Coyotes got some more assets. Have you guys seen... By the way, if you want to be entertained truly, go to capfriendly.com, click on the Coyotes, and look at how many draft picks they have over the next 3 years. They have, I think they have 5 second-round draft picks this year. I am not joking. They have at least 5 of them. Dogs in hockey, that's right. You saw Gonzaga? Oh shoot, they were playing in Portland? I didn't even know that. Well, Egginator, I'm the wrong person for Gonzaga because I went to Santa Clara. So even though I live like 45 minutes from Spokane, I don't know. I'll be happy when they win. One day they'll win the championship, and I'll be happy for everybody here for sure. But yeah, I've always hated Gonzaga being from a rival school. Although my favorite player in NBA history, outside of the Sonics, that was my team. But John Stockton was my favorite player. Anyway, does anybody else see any potential moves happening? And remember, some stuff could be called in even after noon Pacific today. But yeah, that's probably the latest I'll be streaming today. I would think. We've already been live, about 70 minutes. You're being a good girl, sweetie. This is one of her toys, little Triceratops. There we go. What is Santa Clara's mascot? Great question. Broncos. Santa Clara Broncos, and the students are called, like the student section is called the Rough Riders. So, like back in the day, you'd go to a basketball game, they're bumping straight up DMX, rest in peace, Rough Riders. That's right. Boise State was also in the tournament. I totally forgot about that. So I'm from like San Jose basically. So I've only lived in Idaho for about 18 months. So, and being here in the north, like, you know, it's either for football, people follow like not Eastern Washington. People follow Wazoo for football here, and then Gonzaga for basketball. So, you know, there are Boise State fans, but not like a ton of them. Hey, you know, Donnybrook, I kind of want to go to a game next year at ASU. I think that would be really fun to see, especially if like the Coyotes are playing against the Avalanche or the, you know, I don't know why I thought about the Rangers, or like the Panthers or the Lightning, right? In a 5,000 person arena. I think that would be really fun, actually. And yeah, I even tweeted out last night, guys. I just took a screenshot of all the Coyotes draft picks, and I said, Stanley Cup champions 2028. They should at least be able to win some playoff rounds in 5 or 6 years from now. Yeah. Well, it's always interesting, you know, hearing about how people become fans of specific teams, especially if they're not, like, from that area. Like, Donnybrook, I don't even know who your team is, but please let us know. Did you just miss AZ talk? Brother, we're talking Coyotes, man. You saw my tweet probably. Took a screenshot of all their draft picks for the next 3 years, and I said Cup champions 2028, excuse me. But yeah, I'm excited just to see what their draft haul looks like this year, because they have like, what, 5 second rounders or something just absurd like that. Plus, you gotta tip the cap to the management team there. I forget who their GM is now, for extending Vejmelka. Vejmelka is awesome. He's been battling. He came in at a terrible time, and because of his play, they've actually had some great, impressive wins. Hey, the Sharks game, it was 1-1 yesterday for most of it. You know, gotta stop that deadly attack from San Jose. Speaking of which, San Jose is 5-1 against the top 2 teams in the Pacific. But yeah, I would imagine that yeah, Donnybrook, there can't be a bad seat in that barn. Bill Armstrong, thank you. Thanks, Matt. Whoop. ZJ, what's the ZJ? If you don't know what it is, you can't afford it. Does anybody understand that reference? I will be very impressed if somebody got that. Yeah, you own the second round. Pretty much. You own the second round. Well, it's a co-ownership with Seattle, I think, at this point. How about we get some of your second round picks? We could use 1 or 2 of those. Of course. Oh, wait, you already took ours for Aiden Hill. That's right. Oh, you're a Penguins fan in Pittsburgh, but from Ohio. But you didn't have a team. But you're a Vikings fan. Interesting. You're from Skolhio, but you're a Reds fan. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting talking about like fan bases and fan territory and that sort of thing, because, you know, on the West Coast, it's a lot more open-ended because we're a lot, you know, further spread apart. Hey. So sometimes you'll have like people in the middle of California who root for the Dodgers for baseball, but they root for the Niners for football, like stuff like that. I was flapjacks. Nice. It wasn't the handle. That's a good movie. That's one that I love quoting. But anyway. Nice job. cut from the same cloth. We're Vikings fans. We are just gluttons for punishment. Anyway. Thank you. Do we have any other deals, my friends? Let's take a look here at the Twizzler. What? Oh, nice. Looking for deals here, my friends. Looking for deals. Actually, for Lane Peterson, can you have him back? Yeah, you can. It sucks. The guy absolutely tore it up with the Roadrunners. And so I thought that he'd be a decent fit for like a fourth line or maybe third line. And just, he was a plug at best. Thoughts on Fleury losing his glove last night? So he tried to play without the glove and they didn't blow the whistle. I mean, that's just a testament as to the kind of competitor that Fleury is. So I can respect that. I just hope that he's okay. Oh, I hear you, Donnybrook. That's funny. And there are plenty of people out there who end up cheering for the unpopular team just to spite their friends or their family, which is pretty funny. Nobody's ever done that to me, thankfully. Let's take a look here. Claude Giroux actually is making his Panthers press conference or interview debut. He said, Florida was on the top of my list. If there was a team I wanted to go to, it was here. Right on. I like to hear that. My job is to come in here, blend in, and help the team win. What's up, Shane? Thank you for joining the chat. Yeah, I'm surprised. I haven't heard anything regarding Nick Leddy, and not to mention, you might have been surprised to see that they only fetched a seventh for Stetcher when you look at like Lausanne getting a second, right? And then you saw in the Justin Braun trade, right? Philly gets a third for him. Any big trades since you've been gone? I don't think so, Trevor. I'm refreshing and taking a look here. All right, Shang Peng for San Jose Hockey Now. He tweets out that pending UFA Alexander Barabanov still has not been in talks with the Sharks for a new contract. Again, the Sharks' opportunity to move on from him and sell high, right? In addition to James Reimer. So I thought that, again, there was opportunity to put him on the block. Barabanov's been great as a Shark. I like the guy a lot. But again, sell high if you can. So we'll see if anything comes of that. Some Shark Killer fans out there. Yeah, I mean, I love chatting with people from, fans of teams I don't cheer for. I want to see more Kings and Ducks fans in here. We get a couple of Ducks fans once in a while, but I've only seen like one or two Kings fans. I guess that's because they preserved themselves and were frozen in 2014, But anyway. Taking a look. What else are you guys seeing out there? Yeah, will anybody grab Petr Mrazek? Well, then again, his contract is not exactly the best right now. Oh wow, look at this, guys. Check this out. Per Minnesota Wild Twitter. Fleury Gif. Bam. Can AZ have ASU legend Brinson Pasichnuk? Oh, that's cool. He went to ASU. By the way, your defenseman whose name sounds like Pasichnuk, he did not have a very friendly defensive play on Alexander Barabanov yesterday, did he? But the good news is that because it came against the Sharks, it'll be completely overlooked by the Department of Player Safety, so he'll be fine. Hopefully Minnesota can spell Fleury right on their jersey, unlike the Blackhawks. Oh, was that recent? If Fleury will be willing to take a pay cut, Minnesota could re-sign him next year. That'd be possible. But they also have Jesper Wallstedt, who was the top goaltending prospect in last year's draft. So that has to be a factor in their decision, I would think. But of course, I don't know what the Talbot contract situation looks like, but imagine that. If you had Fleury mentoring Wallstedt. That'd be an awesome kind of storyline to follow. But maybe Wallstedt needs like a couple more years because, goaltenders take a little bit of time to develop. Fine with the 7th for Stetcher. Okay, right on. Well, I'll take a look to see if the Red Wings have any other further news. By the way, I heard that Daniela Bruce was actually doing color commentary in a recent game, so that's awesome for her, so congratulations to her. The Wild are your 3rd team. Oh, okay. Yeah, the Wild are actually my 3rd team as well, like at the moment. Nobody will ever take the top spot. The second, I mean, anybody from 2 and downward, though, that's always up for grabs. But over the last, 4 years, I've seen my love for the Panthers escalate to 2nd. And so this year is obviously incredibly exciting, especially with Thornton. Then the Wild are right there because I'm a Vikings fan, so I also like the Wild. The Sabres are going to make their way back up there next year, though. I'm excited to see how the team's playing recently. Krebs has made a nice little impact. Tuck certainly as well. Dahlin with an overtime winner yesterday. So let's go Buffalo. I'm gonna definitely geek out on some Sabres in the near future. The Predators, yeah, I think that would have been really tough for their cap situation. I think, Riley. Yeah, it was a bad hit by Kolyachonok. I know, man, my Russian pronunciation needs to get better, or Ukrainian for if he was Ukrainian or Belarusian or something. Let's take a look, CJ. Thank you for reminding me that I don't get paid full time for this. Not yet. One day. But yeah, checking the job stuff and everything's okay. 2nd Hurricanes, 3rd Penguins. Oh, for your favorite teams. So you like the Hurricanes? Does that have anything to do with Ron Francis? Just out of curiosity. Yeah, the Hurricanes are really fun to cheer for now too. Panthers, Avs for the Cup. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I would absolutely, even if it was like boxing where you had to pay for the matches, I would just be like, all right, everybody in town just pile on into Mikasa, no cover charge, let's get it rolling, lock it in for some Stanley Cup action. That would just be a heavenly matchup, my friend, heavenly. All right. Anybody else seeing any deals out there? Let's take a look here. Oh, the NHL's 3rd star of the week, if Matt, you're listening in, is the Sheriff, Lawson Krause. That's a great nickname for him. The Sheriff, I love it. Yeah, hopefully he can stick around with the team. I swear, man, Sharks, make that deal with the Avalanche. I would love that. Avs can't make it past the 2nd round. They wouldn't make it out of the 1st round if they had to play the Coyotes, right? I don't know. I'm with you, though. What the hell? Jadeveon Clowney is going to the Minnesota Vikings? Or he's plus 300, excuse me. It's an odds. It's like a sports odds account. Is this Chester Bennington's anniversary? The anniversary of his death? Anyway, that was just a Twitter rumbling there. So yeah, this is a really nice kind of summary from Hockey Wilderness on Twitter, part of the SB Nation network of content producers. So if you're curious to see what the Wild have done this deadline, this is what it looks. Oh wait, yeah, that's what it looks like. Nico Sturm, Kaapo Kähkönen, Jack Bain, and some picks are out. In comes Marc-Andre Fleury, Jake Middleton, Nick Delorier. I forgot about him. Tyson Jost, but they got a 2nd rounder back. So yeah, that's a pretty good haul there. Yeah. Oh, it was Chester's birthday yesterday. Okay. Thanks for clarifying that. And don't forget, guys, Jake DeBrusk has been extended by the Boston Bruins. Reportedly 2 years at $4 million annually. That's a pretty fair deal. He's been coming on much more strongly recently. And, he's basically in the prime of his career. In what economy is Jeremy Lauzon worth a second-round pick? I know, that's pretty funny. But nice job by Ron Francis with that. Come on. Bowen Byram is no longer wearing a no-contact sweater. He's back in the normal black for the Avalanche in practice. That is what you like to see. I like seeing that quite a bit. Bowen Byram has been out for a long, long time for Colorado. So to see him back on, practicing, maybe absorbing some contact there, that's really good. Nice tweet there, Matt. Still waiting for the final details on the Brett Kulak trade to the Edmonton Oilers from Montreal. Jake Allen's name is not involved in that deal. Thank you. Merci, François Gagnon. By the way, for the Red Wings, Nick Leddy is practicing, but Mark Stahl is not. So Mark Stahl, could he be a fit for the St. Louis Blues? That's, again, one team that I think could use a little bit more of a veteran presence on defense. Anything else, anybody? Announce your retirement live screen. Yes, good sir. While we wait for other deals to be done. Here's our top beauty here on Twitter. Look at that. Bam bam. I don't think I've ever known anybody who's named their kid Lawson. Lawson's is more of a last name. Are you guys seeing anything else here? What's up, Shane? Florida looks like a beast. Yeah, kind of. You don't want to see Stahl moved? I mean, again, I would hope that you'd get better than a 7th rounder for him. Yeah. I kind of see what you're saying, how, the Panthers obviously acquire not only Giroux, but getting Joe Thornton. Who else is really long in the tooth on that team? Are those the only guys who are above, 32 years old? Gudas is in his 30s, but he's not, on the wrong side of 32 or whatever. But yeah, Florida, Colorado would be just an absolute dream of a Stanley Cup final. Any updates on Philip Forsberg? Good question, Donnybrook. There was a prominent account, again, like an A-tier, Frank Saravalli kind of personality, or, Chris Johnson. I forgot who it was. But he said it looks like Forsberg would stay in Nashville. I haven't seen any rumblings about teams that are making any aggressive pursuits for him. Good question. Josh don't allowed to play in AZ now. The season is over. Oh, I don't know if it's right now, or I think there's a little bit of a period before the playoffs where someone like him could jump in. So I would think so. Is there no Cloudbot today? I thought I saw Cloudbot making a couple of updates in here. I thought I did, but I might just be thinking of yesterday's stream. So yeah, I don't know why Cloudbot would think about sitting this one out. So yeah, that is a wee bit confusing. But hey, everybody here is being cool. That's all that matters. So we'll just keep it rolling, and just kind of, if we need to, make any moves ourselves, we can just do that ad hoc. On the fly. All right. And of course, yeah, keep me in the loop, guys, if you hear anything else. Oh, Google AdSense just gave me a payment. That's always nice. Getting some of that Mo Cider ad revenue coming in. That's what I'm talking about, baby. I make one video about Moritz Seider. 10,000 views for me. That's a lot. So, came out of nowhere. A lot of German viewers. Danke. We're at 10:41 right now, so we have an hour and 19 minutes until the expiration. You're pissed at Vegas. Yeah, they're kind of between a rock and a hard place, though. Do they... Because they've already made their huge move with Eichel. But, again, they haven't moved Dodonov to make way for something else that they could need more than him. So I am a little bit puzzled by that, too. Do I think Canadians are actually mad about ASU? Because they won't be able to get tickets? It's going to be ASU kids and mostly just ticket holders. Well, you would think so, but why would Canadians specifically be mad? I mean, I want to go. Should I be mad? I mean, I'm serious, brother. Like, in the next couple of years while they're at ASU, I might have to give you a shout about possibly making a little pit stop down there. Of course, I would do it in like December or January because I melt as soon as it's 70 degrees, but yeah. Plus, a nice little break from the cold here. I wouldn't mind that so much. Hopefully I haven't hit a wall here. I've been live for 90 minutes, all right. Just checking, make sure I'm not in trouble. I'm pretty good at getting my way out of trouble, though. If Vegas plays Minnesota, Vegas is screwed. Well, I mean, I don't think that those teams would be able to match up unless they both made it to the conference final. Hat-trick Line, what's going on? A fair trade for Andrew Kopp. So wait, is Kopp... I forgot, is he a UFA after this year? Because I think he's certainly an underrated player. I think that you would have to at least get... I would say something in the realm of this. I would think something like a... Oh, thank you, Landon. I appreciate that. Featured designer on Twisted Wrist Hockey, by the way. So for Kopp, I would say maybe a first. I would say something like maybe a third for next year and like a B tier prospect. You know, somebody who could be NHL ready in a year or two. I don't know. That's kind of what floats to the top of my brain here. So I think of something kind of comparable, right? A middle six player like Kalle Järnkrok, who's not as, you know, well, then again, he can play center as well. So I won't discount that. So Kalle got a second, a third, and a seventh. So I think you could upgrade that a little bit for somebody like Andrew Kopp. I think that would be a fair trade. What's up, Adam? Thanks for tuning in. Even if you're just stopping in, that's awesome. and thanks again, Landon. Yeah, I just cut this a couple days ago, man. Seider, one more reason to keep Stahl. Man, it's going to be... You got Wallinder, and then you've got Edvinsson too, man. So yeah, Detroit's going to be an exciting team in a couple of years. And hey, as somebody who used to root a lot against Detroit back in the day, in the aughts when they would play my Sharks a lot, you know, we have a very extensive playoff history, our two teams. But I like it when the Red Wings are good. I really do. They got awesome fans. Not just saying that for you or for Dan, who's a regular on this channel too, but I love interacting with Detroit hockey fans. The last couple months have really kind of elevated my appreciation for them, and that's what I love about Matt Ryan to the Colts. Nice. Let's see if it works out like Philip Rivers. But I love how I get to interact with fans that I haven't really chatted with much before. I didn't really know anything about the New York Islanders and the fan base because, you know, I'm on the West Coast, so like we don't really follow the East Coast as much. So like YouTube was a great gateway to just discovering how awesome Islanders fans can be. Some of them are crazy, but a lot of them are just really passionate, and I like them quite a bit. And I can say that just about, you know, for anybody else out there too. Wings Sharks, those were great series. Yeah. I would say the same thing. Like it's really interesting thinking about playoff history, right? Especially for a team that's newer, like my team, because, you know, the Red Wings have an extensive playoff history, I'm sure, against the Hawks, against the Bruins, the Maple Leafs, so on and so forth. But for my Sharks, our most extensive playoff histories would be the Red Wings and the Blues, and maybe the Kings. I think we've played them 5 times as well. I think we've met all 3 of those teams, I want to say 5 times in the postseason. Anyway. But yeah, that was a really good rivalry. I just really wish, man, in 2008 when you guys won the Stanley Cup, I know that you beat the Stars in the Western Conference Final. I'm very curious what would have happened, because the Sharks were down 3-0 in that series to the Dallas Stars, and they lost Game 6 in Dallas in 4 overtimes. If the Sharks somehow managed to eke out a win there, they would have gone back to San Jose. I think they would have completed the reverse sweep. I would have really liked to see them play Detroit that year, because I actually kind of think that was the Sharks' best team in 2008. But anyway, just my opinion. So Matt Ryan, JZF, is that a thing? Is that actually happening? Who's going to play quarterback for the Falcons, or are they going to try to get somebody in the draft? Because I heard it's not that great of a draft for quarterbacks this year. That's about all I know, though. Uh-oh. Do I have to attend to a work matter? Oh, okay. Games Wave 1. Is there a chance? Yeah, okay. I might have to do something really quickly, but I can keep the stream going simultaneously. Sure. Yeah. You guys don't mind? Push that to there. Okay. Okay. Just gonna be hanging here. Have to keep this all off screen for intellectual property purposes. Wunderbar. You hated Mike Ricci? Yeah, you got it right. Yeah, Mike Ricci was kind of a thorn in opponents' sides. Matt Ryan's just a rumor right now. By the way, Matt Ryan, for any non-football fans, is not a hockey player. All right, let's see. So this is going to be fun. This doesn't really happen very frequently where I actually have something work-wise come up. So I appreciate your patience, but this should be pretty brief. Does Vancouver do anything else? I haven't really heard anything involving Brock Besser, because I thought that he would be a possibility, but it's all about what you have to qualify him for after this year, because he's going to be a restricted free agent. Tyler Mott was another name that could possibly be dealt, but yeah, out of those names, and JT Miller included as well, it was Connor Garland was the one that was generating the most buzz from the media. Well, Mike Ricci played for both Colorado and San Jose, so I'm not sure exactly which year you're referring to. Wings and Avalanche, of course. Yeah, well, both teams were wagons back then for sure. All right, let's see here. Yeah, let me know if you guys see anything in your Twitter feeds. Yeah, the 2008 Red Wings were really stacked, though. Absolutely. But we had Yevgeny Nabokov, so I think our goaltending was, that was the pinnacle of our goaltending. Yevgeny Nabokov, man. Probably my favorite Shark all time. I mean, I made a video on that, my favorite Sharks of all time, and I had him and Thornton tied for first, but really, Yevgeny Nabokov's memory ages to me as a fine wine, because we haven't had that stellar goaltender consistently for a while. Josh Brown and a 2022 7th, for Zach Senyshyn and a 2022 5th. Okay, I don't really have much of an opinion on that. Let's see here. Thank you for your patience while I figure this little work issue out. Yeah. Good old Nabby, man. Nabokov, not quite a Hall of Famer, but if he won a Stanley Cup, then his name would have been, I think he would have been kind of in the conversation. Not sure if he would have gotten in, but... Oh, great. So yeah, are you guys also working today, or are you guys off today? because we have good viewership for this. I appreciate that quite a bit. All right. Okay. Let's take care of that for them. Skadoosh. Go. All right, look at that. Working for the man. Still going live. Oops. What else is happening here? So yeah, thank you for posting that, CJ. I don't really have much of a reaction to that. Just some house cleaning for the most part. All right. No one rocks a stash quite like you. Thank you and good luck in Minnesota. Jake Middleton, Midzy. Yeah, a lot of respect, a lot of love for Jake Middleton. Yeah, Johan Franzen. He was such a pain in the butt in front of the net. Him and Holmstrom. Oh, thanks, Shane. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, hopefully I can do more streams like this throughout the regular season and into the postseason. That's when things get really gnarly on here for sure. And I know that I usually upload tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure. I think I can do it. I want to do winners and losers from the trade deadline. Excuse me. Something like that. You work from home. Nice. That's awesome to hear. What else is going on here? Said that Frank Saravalli had sent out a tweet. Let's see here. Oh, whoa. This is interesting. Per The Athletic's Corey Masisic. I'm sorry if I'm butchering his name. He's the Sharks beat reporter. So Kaapo Kähkönen said it was a shock to be traded. He was on the ice with the Wild when it went down. He said he's excited for the opportunity, and the plan is that he'll join the Sharks tomorrow in Calgary. I would assume that somebody else is going to get the start for the Sharks, but he'll join the team very shortly. Let's take a look here. Brett Kulak was traded for William Lagesson and a 2023 second. Wow. I mean, I think Brett Kulak is, from what I've seen, he's a pretty stable defenseman for your third pairing. But, dude, that is a good return for the Habs. You got to credit the Jeff Gorton, right? Jeff Gorton's the GM there right now, right? Or no, wait, he's like in an executive role kind of overseeing some of that. It's Kent, what do I want to say? Kent Richards. Kent, I don't know, is his name Kent something, right? Well, anyway, Montreal, I got to credit them for some of the draft picks that they've acquired. Didn't the Sharks have Jonathan Chychrun? Yeah, from Moose Factory, Ontario. The Chychrun train, man. He had one 56-goal season. Followed it up the next year with 37. And then I don't think he had any more than like 26 or 25 for a couple of years, and that was it. And yeah, Chychrun scored 49 of his 56 goals when Thornton arrived November 30th. Just want to just check in with a coworker about this. Just want to make sure that they're taken care of. I'll be okay. Well, never mind. They're probably going to ask me 44 different questions. So, anyway, we'll keep this going to the best of my abilities here. Matt Ryan to the Colts is now official. Wow. So, you're still are they in win now mode? Like, what's going on there? I don't follow the Colts too closely, but I have a friend who's a big fan. He grew up the same town that Dallas Clark is from. In like 5 minutes. Okay, sure. You bet. Oh boy. can I ask you to do this? Of course. I get paid for it, so you got it. All right. Blackhawks and Predators are getting close on a Ryan Carpenter trade, says Ben Pope for the Chicago Sun-Times. Wow. Matt Ryan is going to Indy. That's crazy, man. Yeah, look at Kevin Weeks, man. Just absolutely on a tear. Whoa, dude. Nick Leddy to the Blues. What? Nick Leddy is part of the Blues. That is exactly what they needed. Second pairing, stable, stay-at-home defenseman. Left-hand shot, right? That's exactly what they needed to do. Is that an actual move, guys? Chychrun's one of the greatest names? Absolutely. Let me see if I see any other sources on that, guys. Is Nick Leddy joining the Blues? That would be exactly what they would need to do, I would think. Emily Kaplan of ESPN says, players I expected to be traded today: Andrew Kopp, Max Domi, Ricard Raquel, Phil Kessel. Yeah, we've certainly talked about all of those here. No, there's been some speculation, but I was told there's zero chance that Patrick Kane gets traded. Yeah, I didn't think that was anything legit, personally. I didn't hear about any particular team like going back to the Hawks with proposals. So Nick Leddy to the Blues, could we possibly see that? Let me know, guys, if you hear anything else on that. Hey, what's up, Cortana? Hey. Oh, here's the doggo. Hi, who's a good girl? Whoop. Yeah, who's a good girl? Yeah. Good girl. All right, back to me. Here we go. What do you guys think of Nick Leddy potentially landing in St. Louis? A few years ago, you would probably not see Detroit and St. Louis make a deal like that, huh? You know, I always find it really interesting that in the playoffs, that one year when Steve Yzerman had that goal from like center ice or whatever, it was because of a Wayne Gretzky turnover on the Blues that actually happened, and that won the series for Detroit. Any other news about Nick Leddy? Come on, let's see it. Yeah, so Kevin Weeks, he just put out a video that Nick Leddy is heading to the St. Louis Blues. So I don't know what the return is. Maybe we'll find that out, hopefully by the end of the trade deadline. Kladno has virtual tickets? Yeah. So then that way they can raise funds for Ukrainian refugees. So the Sharks reassigned Zachary Sawchenko, one of our reserve goaltenders, to the Barracuda. But my thoughts are, though, if Aiden Hill is in the lineup, and so is Kakinen, then potentially they could still deal Reimer. But they better do it. It's good for the Sharks to get a finished player. We didn't have any finished players. So that's why we've sucked the last couple of years. All right. Leddy for a 6th. You'd be cool with that? Yeah, I'll let you guys know if I hear anything else on the return for Nick Leddy. Is that Bob? Oh, Bob McKenzie. Bob McKenzie was saying that Andrew Cagliano could be potentially on the move. A team like Colorado or the Rangers would be interested in him. That's funny. So it's like The Sharks could deal literally like Cagliano, Nieto, and Bonino. That whole line, the O line, right? They could just deal them to Colorado. Literally, just do it. Just do it. Make it happen. Letty's having an atrocious season. Oh, because I remember him wasn't he really good last year? Didn't he have kind of a career sort of resurrection? Correct me if I'm wrong. I just assumed he was playing okay. Everybody seemed to be crapping on DeKaiser if you were to pick a Red Wings defenseman. CJ says, can we get to 20 likes on the stream? I would appreciate that. If anybody hasn't smashed that thumbs up, remember that helps others like you discover this channel with the potential to grow our numbers and grow the variety of fans that we have here as well. We have folks who can at times be tuning in from Australia, New Zealand. I think we've had somebody on here from Netherlands, people in, of course, Sweden, Finland, Germany, UK. Hopefully get some folks in. It'd be cool to get some more people in Mexico. I think we've had like one or two from Mexico before, like maybe even as far south as like Argentina, but don't quote me on that. Somebody one time said they were tuning in from Bangladesh, which is unbelievable. It's pretty cool. So yeah, definitely smash that like button. If anybody is new here and hasn't hit the subscribe button, definitely would love to have you along as we continue to cover the NHL through this season and the playoffs and the off season. So in addition to making these live streams, I also upload multiple times a week to the channel with videos in the forms of NHL analysis and historical content. We do a lot of jersey talk on here as well. Our audience loves talking about jerseys and logos and that sort of thing. So we do that. And if you're interested in connecting with us further, I am on social media. I do have channel merchandise, so you can always check out the video description down below as well. So there's my little boilerplate. And Thursday, we're going to have a collaborator as well join us. That is Core Python from his channel covering the New York Rangers. So we're going to be talking about the blue shirts. So hope you can stick around for that. And like I said, we should have a winners and losers trade deadline video. Oh, whoa. Arturi Lehkonen is going to the Colorado Avalanche. There is some thump and sandpaper that they need in their lineup. You got to look at the analytics for Lehkonen. I haven't watched the Habs at all this season, but when his name was surfacing in trade talks, I checked him out on Hockey Reference, looking at his like advanced stats for 5-on-5. For playing on the Canadiens, Lehkonen's had a really good year, and he does actually have a little bit of offensive upside. So the Habs apparently are getting a prospect named Baron and a second. So the Avalanche getting Arturi Lehkonen. That is a really good fit for them, I believe. Letty was a stopgap from day one, huh? Maybe I was thinking about how he played on the Islanders, but just about anybody on the blue line for New York has played well, considering you got the mastermind back there in Barry Trotz. And plus the goaltending's been really good too. Whoa, dude. Hey, guys. I was saying that the Coyotes were going to win the 2028 Stanley Cup. Yo, dude, look at the Habs on Cap Friendly. This is per friend of the channel, Scotian Canadian. Oh, wait, that's not really picking up too well. But anyway, look at all those draft picks. All of those dots are draft picks. That's pretty nuts. Pretty damn nuts, I got to say. Wow. Scotian Canadian, you get a retweet from me. Arizona claims Hari Sateri. So, apparently the Leafs demoted Mrazek, right? They put him on waivers. And then their other reserve goaltender that they had brought in, Hari Sateri, gets claimed by the Coyotes. This is looking like the Jared McCann situation all over again. Or the Brandon Tanev situation, I should say. Or am I getting those confused? Draft picks for who? Eggenator, I believe that was a second and a prospect whose last name I think is Baron for Arturi Lehkonen, excuse me. We heard Solid D, but basically been Hronek 2.0 here. I like Hronek, but again, there's only so much Red Wings I can watch. But I won't be saying that next year or 2 years from now. I'll be certainly watching. I'll be locked in for sure. Derek Pouliot returns to the Pacific Northwest. He played for the Winterhawks in junior. And so Derek Pouliot has been claimed by the Seattle Kraken. Sundqvist? What? Oscar Sundqvist? Is he on the move? Oh, interesting. Okay. Here's the full details. All right, the Red Wings themselves have actually tweeted this out, okay? So, the Blues get Nick Leddy and Luke Witkowski, and in return, the Red Wings receive Jake Wallman, a 2023 second-round draft pick, and they also get depth forward Oscar Sundqvist. Oops, can we get the details there? Can we lock it in? Sorry, it's really blurry, guys. I'll read that one more time, guys. Blake Lizotte, 2 years at 1 point. Okay, that's a fair deal for him, I think. He's been a good kind of like third line. What is he, a center? I forget. If that's your third line center, that's not bad. Kind of a stopgap while you wait for somebody like Byfield to develop further. But anyway, so once again, the Red Wings get Jake Wallman, Oscar Sundqvist, and a 2023 second-round draft pick for Nick Leddy and Luke Witkowski. Actually, that's sounding like a pretty damn good deal for the Red Wings, if I do say so myself. I think that looks good for Detroit. You get a second for Nick Leddy, and you even get Oscar Sundqvist. In the Yzer plan we trust. There we go. Yeah, Stevie Y coming through late in the deal here. Okay, so yeah, as CJ was mentioning here, the Canadiens have traded forward Artturi Lehkonen to the Avalanche in exchange for defenseman Justin Barron, probably Justin Barron, and a second-round draft pick in 2024. So for the Avalanche to give up a second-round pick 2 years from now for Artturi Lehkonen, I like that a lot. That is the exact kind of player that these guys need. Again, I would have really liked to see the Sharks make a deal with them, but that's a good fit. So David Pagnotta, some talk that the Vegas Golden Knights are moving out of contract. You would think that maybe it would be Yevgeny Dadonov. He's at like a 5-year cap hit, or a $5 million cap hit. I'm taking a look here, guys. See if we have any other details. So yeah, a couple of big moves there. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite moves that we've seen so far. I really like Lehkonen going to Colorado. And that second rounder that the Red Wings just got for Leddy, that's fantastic. Here we go. Per Emily Kaplan, her sources, the Anaheim Ducks are shopping offers on Raquel right now. I can report Boston and Vegas are in advanced talks. So we just mentioned earlier from Pagnotta that the Knights are looking to clear off some cap space. Could they be trying to clear $5 million, relieve themselves of winger Yevgeny Dadonov to make room for winger Rickard Rakell? I could certainly see that happening. Believe that the Rangers were involved at one point, but not sure if they're still in it. Yeah, Montreal's done a really nice job with the trade deadline so far. The Leafs need a goalie. Is that James Reimer's music? Yes, by all means. Let's make a deal. I would love it. Although Reimer, man, he's had just a terrific season with the Sharks. Do you guys see anything else here? Raquel to the Knights, that would be really interesting. If the Knights, I'm just making a little Twizzler here. If the Knights can relieve themselves of Dodonov's contract do they land Raquel? All right. Oh, by the way, Montreal receives, or the Habs are actually retaining 50% of Lekkonen's contract, so that's even better for Colorado. That's a great deal for them. Oh, I might have to do a quick little work thing. Okay, just one moment here. It would just be basically what I did earlier. Yep. Just a moment. Corporate accounts payable. Nina speaking. Just a moment. Other GM secretaries. We have Mr. Yzerman calling. Hang up the phone. It's Yzerman. How hilarious would that be? If, let's say, you're speaking with, like, Julien Brisebois or Joe Sakic. You're like, I'm like, B, I'm sorry. Yzerman's calling me. All right. Mrazek cleared waivers. Yeah. And apparently the Coyotes claimed Hari Sateri. All right. Just a moment, my friends. Ovechkin to Arizona for Johan Larsson. I don't think Alex Ovechkin would score. Then again, I want to make a joke. I'd say I don't think Ovechkin would score 127 goals to even pass Gretzky in a whole career with Arizona. But hey, what's going on with Kessel, by the way, man? Are we going to see him on the move, man? All right, here we go. Got to do this quickly. All right, just a moment. My colleague says, no rush. And I'm like, yeah, I'm rushing through this. Got to get back onto the stream. I don't have my hands full with anything else. Just a moment. Brad Richardson goes back to the Vancouver Canucks. Yeah, they had some potential names surfacing earlier in the season for trades, but I kind of see why they're sort of standing pat because, you know, they're not all the way out of a playoff race. Of course, losing that that overtime point to Buffalo last night kind of stings. All right. Thank you guys for being patient and sticking around while I do that. Hope you're having fun as we get down to the wire here, guys. 46 minutes remaining here. But remember, additional deals can be called into the league's offices. Yeah. Oh, God. Nick Leddy, traded to St. Louis, is a smooth skating puck-moving defenseman who is also a major drain on his team's results at both ends of the ice. There might not be a blue liner in the game with a bigger gap between transition skills and on-ice impact, per J Fresh Hockey. So, Shane, I was like, I love this move for the Blues. Yeah, you know what? I'm starting to kind of reel that back a little bit. Kessel said the hot dogs were so good in AZ that he'll retire here. Arizona and hot dogs, right? They go hand in hand. Come on, Sharks. Get it done. Doing a refresh here. Let's see. Yeah, nice seeing Bowen Byram getting back onto the ice. Okay, here we go, guys. The Sharks have traded Andrew Cagliano to the Colorado Avalanche per Bob McKenzie. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, we could have moved out either Cagliano, Bonino, or Nieto. Cagliano was the only guy out of those three players who's not under contract next season, and he's part of that penalty kill. So Colorado getting a little bit of fortifications to the bottom six by getting Cagliano and by getting Artturi Lehkonen. Really, really like that. That's exactly what they needed. Their biggest hole has been penalty kill. What would a Bertuzzi deal look like if it happened? I would think that would be a pretty fair haul. I mean, you got to start with the Giroux deal and kind of cycle back from there. I don't know how many years Bertuzzi has left on his contract though, or is he a UFA? But you would think it would involve like at least a first, a good. I don't know about like an A tier prospect. I would think maybe something along those lines, and again like a second or a third bundled in there too. Who knows? Maybe even like another B tier prospect bundled in there too. I'm not the best at this. I take my best effort, but I give my best effort. But yeah, Kessel in Florida. Considering they already have Hornqvist, and they just got Giroux, I just couldn't see Florida stacking the deck even more. Honestly, I thought Kessel in Washington made sense, but then their power play turned things around. Larson to the Capitals for a 2023 third rounder. Is that Johan Larson from Arizona? Yeah, Cagliano has been dealt from the Sharks to the Avalanche. I hope. Oh man, if we got like a third rounder for him, I would be so fired up. 2 years, okay. If Bertuzzi's got 2 more years, that's like a first, a second, and a good ass prospect. I would think easily. You might even get more for that. Mid 4th round pick, maybe a 4th liner for Cagliano, but we'll see. Could Riley Smith be on the move? Could the Vegas Knights try to trade him out in exchange for Raquel? Because I know that Riley Smith does play the right wing, even though he's a left-handed shot. Kessel in Nashville? That's not done though, right? You're just saying that would be a good fit. And I really do agree with you. Joel, what's happening? Dream move for the Sharks right now. They got to trade out Reimer. They just got Kaapo Kähkönen, so they should definitely move Reimer and sell high. They should also sell high on Barabanov. Like, they got to get some second-round picks, man. They don't have a second this year. At least a first. Yeah. For a guy who's under contract 2 more years and is still kind of like maturing and approaching the sweet spot of his prime, yeah, you would think that Bertuzzi would fetch you'd have to get a big old bundle for that, I would think. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining Hickets and Joel. It's awesome to have you here. If you guys want to be, if you are interested in keeping up with us through the trade deadline, through the, oh wait, whoa. Oh, okay. I thought that Bonino had been traded as well. I was just saying, for the new folks here, we're going to be doing this throughout the regular season, and the playoffs would be awesome to have you along. So we'll be doing this a couple times a week probably, and I upload videos in the form of NHL analysis and historical content multiple times a week as well. So the Sharks got a 5th round draft pick in 2024 for Andrew Cagliano. Is that really it? Is that all we got? A 5th rounder in 2 years for Andrew Cagliano? I'm not impressed, honestly. I don't mind us moving on from him and giving somebody an opportunity to take his spot, but that doesn't really impress me all that much. Jacob Middleton will wear number 5 for the Minnesota Wild. Just a 5th rounder? Come on, man. A 5th rounder 2 years from now, nonetheless. Anyway. Just making sure I'm not in trouble. All right, cool. We're good. Okay. Cool. All right, awesome. Good. Tutto sta bene, miei amici. Yeah, so to reiterate, and I think CJ had posted this earlier, we have the Coyotes making a deal with the Capitals, so they send Johan Larsson to Washington in exchange for a 2023 third-round pick. That's a nice pickup for Arizona. I have to applaud them for that. Oh, here we go, guys. Per Kyle Hall, and Kyle Hall is a reporter for USA Hockey, the Rangers are apparently in deep conversation with the Jets regarding Andrew Kopp. They are now seen as the frontrunners to acquire him at the deadline. 1. I haven't heard anything regarding Paul Stastny, though. That was another guy who I thought would be on the block for this year. That's all I'm seeing right now. So Andrew Kopp would be a decent one. A decent addition, excuse me. And as we saw earlier, Johan Larsson dealt from Arizona to Washington. Don't forget, also, Washington acquired Marcus Johansson, so he's going back to Washington in exchange for Daniel Sprong and other assets going to Seattle. Can't believe that Fleury's on the Wild. Yeah. I would love to see that propel Minnesota to a deep playoff run, to say the least. What's just going on here? If you're enjoying the stream, share it with your friends. anybody except for my boss. Dude, my boss is probably cool with it. She's probably like, oh, right on, bro. Did the Bruins move on from DeBrusk even though he signed to an extension? Hey, you know, that's a good point. I don't know if they would do that. Maybe, you know what they maybe do? Maybe they'll keep him through the postseason, you know, because he's playing better in the second half. And then they could look into moving him afterwards. Because what is he, 2 years at $4 million per season? That's a valuable contract, right? They could, you know, they have an interesting offseason coming up with Bergeron, right? So I could see it that they are using this as kind of a trial and then kind of make a decision based on that. Whoa, Raquel to the Blues? Is Raquel going to play in the third line? How do they have room for Rickard Raquel? He would have to play on the third line. Is that for real? Is that for real? Raquel to the Blues would be huge. I just don't know how the Blues fit him into the roster, but yeah, like Paul, Joel, anybody like who is tweeting that out? I'm just curious. Yeah, you're saying yes. All right. I'm not seeing it in my feed. That doesn't mean that didn't happen, though. Holy crap, Seattle. Seattle has 4 second-round picks in this year's draft, and they have 3 second-round picks next year. All right, let's see. Are there any updates here? A front runner for the best deal before the deadline. Well, I loved that the Flames acquired Toffoli, but that wasn't really a deadline deal. In terms of an actual acquisition, I think of Lindholm just being an awesome potential pairing for Charlie McAvoy if they want to go that route, or just having one of the best top fours in the NHL. So I think that's really good. Yeah, I'm seeing if Paul, I'm looking out to see if we see anything else on 67. I'm trying to think if there's any other move that's really jumping out at me. It's hard to really keep up with this before trade deadline, like you were saying. Before the actual deadline day. I don't know. Nick Delorier to the Wild. You know, a lot of people were praising Brandon Hagel going to Tampa. Remember, that deal fetched 2 first-rounders for Chicago. So that could be one that really works out well for both parties. I personally didn't know Hagel was that skilled, but I would think that the Blackhawks sold high on him. So really, that could end up being one of the best moves. It could work out for Tampa, but it could be even better for Chicago. You know, one of Raquel's ex-teammates. Interesting. You guys missed John? Hey, Jonathan Bernier, he was good with the Red Wings. It's just that he was unfortunately on not the best team. Looks like Dodonov to Anaheim. Per Puck Report NHL. You know what that means. If Dodonov goes to Anaheim, that means Raquel goes to Vegas. You would think. Per David Shen or Schoen, he is the Vegas Golden Knights writer for RJ Sports. And he says, as others have put out there, not sure who's first. I'm hearing Dodonov to the Ducks, but nothing official. I would think that has something to do with Raquel. There's definitely some potential moves here coming down to the wire. We've got 30 minutes left before we hit the deadline. But again, moves could come in afterwards. Usually they're not of a high magnitude, though. Okay, nothing else just yet. Yeah, I'm sorry Thomas Greiss hasn't worked out there, Shane. I am a bit of a Greiss fan in a sense. He was a good backup for the Sharks to kind of start his career. Wow, I've already been live for 2 hours and 18 minutes. Somehow I have my voice. That's good. This is helping. To be fair, the Panthers are a clear favorite after acquiring Giroux. Well, I mean, on paper, you could say that, but since it's the Panthers and they're also working with an interim head coach, I don't think it's entirely fair to call them the clear favorite. Because, like, Tampa, it depends on how you're asking the question, I think. Because if you still ask, like, okay, just point blank, who's the favorite to win the Stanley Cup Final? I'm like, well, it's still Tampa because they still have, you know, they've won the last 2, right? They still have everybody playing really well. Stamkos is actually having a better season than he has in the past. As long as Kucherov is healthy, you know, they still have Point, they still have Vasi, Hedman, you know, McDonough, Chernak, all those guys. So it's like, all right, I still think that they are the team to beat. And especially when history is not favoring the Leafs or the Panthers in that division. I think the Hurricanes are kind of missing out on this deadline, to be honest with you guys. I would have really liked them to land somebody like a Nick Delorier. They need that nastiness. Oh, Greiss was in Detroit last year. For some reason, I thought he was still on the Islanders. But yeah, obviously, because it was Varlamov and Sorokin last year. The Jets get Zach Sanford from Ottawa for a 5th. Okay, not a bad return for Ottawa. Bernier led in some garbage goals. I mean, I remember him playing not just well for them, but he played well for the Devils too. I mean, I'll take a guy who lets in a few garbage goals, but can still stand on his head fairly consistently. I don't know. Then again, I've been deprived of like good, reliable goaltending for a while here myself. Yeah. Um, because yeah, with like Florida and with Colorado, again, with Colorado, they had a 2-0 series lead in the second round last year and just folded. So there's kind of like almost like a mental hurdle with them, kind of like there is with Toronto. Florida, you could argue that too. And I mean, the Flames have been awesome in the second half. So I don't consider them a favorite. And it's interesting to see that after the Yarncroke deal, they've been very quiet, right? So they have Daryl Sutter as their head coach. Johnny Gaudreau's in a contract year. Isn't Kachuk also in a contract year? So that's one reason why I think that Calgary's kind of scary and almost kind of falling in under the radar. Yeah, I can't understand why they can't win a deep series. Well, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. In 2019, they were in a tied Game 7 against the Sharks in the second round. And then the offsides call happened, which, it was basically kind of a 50-50. Well, yeah, Bobrovsky doesn't exactly have the best track record in the playoffs. And Spencer Knight has kind of regressed in the regular season. But I love watching the Avalanche. So if they are destined for the Cup final, I've got no qualms about that. All right, Bruin. Hey, thanks, man. You have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you for another stream. Maybe we'll do one on Wednesday. I've been trying to be pretty consistent recently with doing a live stream on Wednesday and doing one on Sunday, and then uploading videos on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Holy crap. It is a lot of work, but we'll see if I can keep it up. I mean, during the playoffs, though, it's got to be something's got to happen on this channel every day for the playoffs. Good thing my busy period for work is actually in the fall. The Saints are finalizing an extension for Jameis Winston. Famous Jameis. Oh, that's because there is a little Easter egg about that. Anyway. Is Jameis Winston a franchise quarterback? I thought tell me no, but I don't really follow football close enough. All right, let's take a look. Any other deals here? We're 25 minutes away from the expiration of the trade deadline. I'm going to retract my earlier tweet about the Blackhawks and Predators nearing a Ryan Carpenter trade. It's not impossible, but it sounds like I jumped the gun. Put me on the Eklund tier of legitimacy until further notice. I don't really understand what that means. Still keeping my eye on Andrew Kopp to the Rangers. Perhaps a package of a couple of picks and a sweetener. It's got to be a good deal. Kopp is, if it weren't for guys like Scheifele and Ehlers in Winnipeg, Kopp could be a top 6 mainstay on a lot of teams. Jeff for the win. Jeff Gorton? I don't think he spells his name with a G, though. Still looking around here, guys. What do you guys see here? Oh, Jared Goff? Wait, is he staying with the Lions? Okay, per Kevin Weeks, the Rangers have traded defenseman Anthony Bitetto to the Sharks. I wonder what that involves. So the Sharks might not be done here, thankfully. Can we please send them Reimer and we'll take Georgiev from you. The founder of the 30-30 season? Not Brett Favre? He never had a 30 interception season? Oh, that was Jameis who did that. Okay. All right, we'll keep our eyes on this Anthony Bitetto trade to San Jose. Come on, let's see. All right. Baker Mayfield. Oh. All right. What would you guys say is the biggest fleecing that we've seen at the trade deadline? As a matter of fact, I might even use your response in a video or something, or at least use that to help me in my productions. Just checking for more updates, guys. Did we ever... Oh, no. I think we did figure out the return for Brett Kulak back to Montreal. Baker could go to the Seahawks or the Panthers or the Falcons. All right, well, I'll give that a minute or two. I haven't even looked at what the games are for tonight. Are there any good games on tonight? There's Wild and Golden Knights. That should be a good game, right? Who else plays tonight? Let's take a look. Then after this, I'm gonna have to get myself a Snackarooski. I gotta take my dog out to play because she's been such a good girl this morning. Haven't you, Cortana? The Lindholm trade seems like a bit of a fleece. Interesting. Well, yeah, you did give up a lot. Granted, it was you at least signed him successfully, so that's good. Now, is Lindholm going to play with McAvoy, or do you think that Lindholm would actually go to the second pairing? There's a good girl there. There's a good girl. Yeah, who's a good girl? Leddy trade. Yeah, that Leddy trade netted a really good return for Yzerman. Only 4 games tonight. Yeah, I guess Monday nights are usually pretty quiet. How many draft picks and prospects have the Flyers picked up during this deadline between Braun and Giroux? How many did they pick up from the Braun? Well, the Braun trade was just for a third, which is, I think, a good deal for them. Hey, what's up, Sports Geeks? We were just talking about the Flyers, actually. Because you guys got that third-round draft pick for... Justin Braun, but the Giroux trade was what, 3 picks? I'd have to go check Cap Friendly. You think that Lindholm would play with McAvoy? Okay, even if it's not right away, yeah. If they're not the top pair, yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. So real minor trade that we're seeing between the Rangers and Sharks. So the Rangers moving defenseman Anthony Bitetto to San Jose. San Jose needed a little bit more for left-handed defense, even though he's not like a stud or anything like that. And in return would be forward Nick Merkley, who has played with the Sharks a little bit this season, primarily with the Barracuda, though. Okay. Not much more to say about that. Oh, Andrew Cogliano's on the phone with TSN right now, apparently. How about that? New Colorado Avalanche. What's going on here? What about the Preds? The Preds? It was cool. I went to Nashville a few years ago, and I went on a tour of the Jack Daniel's distillery, and on my tour was this woman from Australia who like literally flew all the way out to Nashville because she's like, well, I like country music and I want to watch the Preds. I'm like, oh wait, you follow them? She's like, oh yeah, I watch all of the games. And I'm like, well, that's amazing. She said, yeah, I got tickets for 6 games. It's amazing. I just love seeing people all around the world acquire a passion for this sport and this league. Rangers winning the lottery? The draft water? Oh, God. Yeah, to think that Lafreniere and it's not so much. Well, Kakko's been injured, so that doesn't help. But those guys are coming along a little bit more slowly than I'm sure a lot of fans were hoping for. But they're still very young, so no need to hate. Nick Merkley for Anthony Bitetto. Yeah, that's just about as cut and dry as it gets. She must have gotten catfished. Hey, catfish is delicious, man. Jack White even moved to Nashville? Interesting. I've never been to Detroit, but one day I obviously want to go to Little Caesars. To the big old pizza box. Does Giordano help the Leafs that much? I mean, at least he's more responsible with the puck than any other Toronto Maple Leafs defenseman, so he helps at least cut down on turnovers. But I don't think they should be expecting that much from him. If he's playing the second pairing, that's enough of a responsibility. But just try to keep the puck out of the net and kill penalties. That should just be his job. Yeah, Nick Merkley traded from San Jose to New York in exchange for Anthony Bitetto. Yeah, Joel, I don't think that the move is like that doesn't favor the Leafs in any first round matchup. If they had Giordano and went up against the Bruins, I would still easily pick the Bruins to win that series. And you compare that to the magnitude of the deals that Florida have made, and even Tampa for that matter, getting Hagel and also getting Nick Paul. I don't know too much about Nick Paul, but I think he adds a little bit of depth scoring. I would say. Even so, yeah, those moves compared to what Toronto has done, that's still superior. You could argue. A 10-7 loss. That's right. Uh. 15 minutes, guys. I want to know what happens with Raquel. What about Max Domi? He wasn't practicing today. That's what I saw. Come on. Right, we saw earlier that Johan Larsson was sent from Arizona to Washington for a third. Good deal for Arizona. Man, just look at all the draft picks that they're acquiring. It is ridiculous. Them, Montreal, and also Seattle. Toronto invested too much into their forwards instead of other areas. I mean, how do you not... I think that the Matthews contract, I think, seems justified, even though he hasn't been like lighting it up in the playoffs. The Marner one, I'm a little bit more critical of. Tavares, what's crazy is that Tavares could have made $2 million more annually to play in San Jose. But obviously he wanted to go back to his hometown. I mean, I liked what the Leafs goaltending situation looked like on paper with Jack Campbell. Always liked him with LA. And even Mrazek, in small doses, he throughout his career, when he's not hurt, which is like 2/3 of the time, he's actually really good. But this year, if the wheels kind of finally came off the wagon for him, for a better defenseman or goalie, I mean, yeah, I would agree with you in that I'd rather you have enough firepower out of your forward group, right? So I would rather have more reliable defense myself too. Andrew Hammond to the Devils. Did Andrew Hammond ever play for the Devils, or am I just blowing smoke? Oh, per Friedman, Andrew Kopp, and the Rangers, chatter is heating up. Per Amanda Kessel, it doesn't look like her brother is going to be traded. See what else we have here. I'm literally going with green tea, caffeine, and also because it's gonna, it's a diuretic. It dehydrates you. In addition to my electrolyte enhancement there. They've traded. Yeah. I would agree with you, man. Per Darren Drager, all indications are Andrew Kopp is headed to the Rangers. Rangers might also be working on Tyler Mott. Wow. That's a decent haul, man. And the Hamburglar is going to the Devils. Poor Phil. Phil must really like his situation, though. He can just show up whenever he wants. And he gets paid. So Andrew Kopp, Tyler Mott, potentially these guys could be going to the New York Rangers. And now David Pagnotta is saying that Andrew Kopp is going to the Rangers. The deal has been agreed upon. So, heyo, Andrew Kopp to the Devils. Or not the Devils, excuse me, to the Rangers. Andrew Kopp from Winnipeg to the Rangers, and I'm pretty sure he's a free agent next year. Well, I don't think that I'd want somebody in a different sport to sign any of my jerseys. That's kind of a faux pas. I wouldn't personally do it. However, if I could meet Metallica, would I bring them a Sharks jersey to sign? I might, because they're affiliated. They've appeared at Sharks games and in partnerships and promotions. So there you go. Kessel donuts and hot dogs, still a beast, like Bufflin or Chris Farley. Man, Bufflin, there's somebody who aged really well in his career and kind of walked away a little too soon, but good for him. No, man. I think Kessel is still, yeah. Oh, Kessel's to the golf course. Future considerations. No, he'll come out of retirement so that he can torch the Sharks every freaking game. So anyway, so Andrew Kopp is apparently a Ranger. That's a big move. Because the Rangers, they were kind of rumored earlier on to possibly be interested in somebody like Tomas Hertl. But Andrew Kopp, if called upon, I think he could certainly fill a second-line role. Retaining 50% on Leddy for the rest of the season to get a second and more seems like good cap management by Yzerman. Yeah, I agree. Let's see here. Just final 10 minutes. Yeah, final 9 minutes, I guess. Again, just to reiterate a move that happened earlier today, Zach Sanford has been traded by the Ottawa Senators to the Winnipeg Jets. I think that Ottawa got a 5th rounder for that. Hey, thank you guys so much for sticking with me through this as, we tread our way through Twitter feeds and verify legitimate accounts. Final minutes here, guys. And who knows, maybe even after this, briefly, I could take a look at, maybe extending the stream a little bit so then that way we can see if anything else gets called in. Okay, that's good. Ken Holland. Yeah, what have the Oilers done this deadline? They really haven't done very much, except for get Kulak. That's just about it. Right? For a team that needs more depth for McDavid and Draisaitl, they don't get any depth for McDavid and Draisaitl. Yeah, I think that they've been kind of lackluster at this deadline. Vegas really hasn't done anything unless this. What about Dodonov? Like I haven't seen any updates on Dodonov or Riley Smith or anybody there. Trade Sateri for Mrazek in the first. Trade Sateri to Edmonton. How about that? A final countdown. Cortana is just absolutely on the edge of her seat, as you can tell. Waiting for some more moves to be made in the final minutes, right, girl? You've been very, very freaking good, though. You've been so good. You haven't bothered me at all in the last, hour and a half. So you'll have to be rewarded. And you know what? Actually, it's time, guys. We got to get Cortana a treat here because she's been so good. Sorry for the... I'm holding my webcam with my hand here. I don't know if Vegas can afford an extension on Smith, to be frank. Just because he's performing so well for them that he's going to command more. Stanley Spadowski in UHF. Not sure exactly what that refers to. Oops. We are clearly locked on Cortana now. Whoop. Way to go, kiddo. All right. Kessel is at 956 games in his Ironman streak. And yeah, I think that, he can continue his career for another 3 years easily. I think that's probably about kind of where his shelf life sort of runs out. He can just be a mercenary to play on a power play for somebody. Yes, Shane, she is a very good doggo. All right. You guys seeing anything else? I haven't. It's been a whopping 2 minutes since I last refreshed my Twitter feed, so God only knows what could have occurred. Come on down. Let's go. Let's see here. David Penyota says the Rangers are not done. Well, we got to figure out what they gave up to get Andrew Kopp. I like the move, though. Makes things more entertaining for my collaboration with Rangers fan Core Python on Thursday. Still taking a look here, guys. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Hearing that Canucks have traded Tyler Mott to the Rangers for a 2023 fourth-round pick. Huh. I think Tyler Mott's got enough of a skill set to warrant more than that. So, the Rangers have made a couple of moves. They've gotten Tyler Mott in exchange for a 2023 fourth-round draft pick. And they've also, of course, acquired Andrew Kopp from the Jets. Yep, the Rangers got Nick Merkley from the Sharks as well. I don't think Nick Merkley is going to be starting very often, though, if at all. Oh, Cortana, don't worry, soon enough, girl. see here. Any other updates here? Vikings are going to host Zadarius Smith. I didn't watch him this year, but I liked what I saw of him the season before. Okay. In a little bit, I know you want belly rubs. She's literally just like, pet me, please. So wait, the Kotkaniemi extension is only official now? Because Weeksy is literally saying that the Canes have just signed Kotkaniemi to an 8-year extension. So I guess they're inking that deal and making it final. Can't wait for 8 deals to roll in at 12:15 like they always do. So again, Tyler Mott, Nick Merkley, and of course the big fish there is Andrew Kopp, all going to the Rangers. All right. Thank you to everybody for your patience as we get into the final last breath of this trade deadline. Any more deals? Rangers fleece. Yeah, I think the Rangers only having to deal a 2023 fourth round draft pick for Tyler Mott. That's a really good exchange for New York. Yep. You guys got the Hamburglar. You mean the Canucks couldn't get more from Mott than a fourth round pick? My thoughts exactly too. Final minute, technically, but again, more deals could come in. But I would think that this would be these are the big ones we've already seen. Hi, girl. Okay, doing one final little refresh here. I know what's going to happen, guys. Seriously, there's going to be one or two big deals that happen like just after I sign off of this. But as I mentioned earlier, I think I'll try to upload some sort of trade deadline recap or winners and losers video tomorrow. So, of course, make sure that you're subscribed, that you click on the notifications bell. That way you know my content comes out. One final refresh, and then I can probably quell this addiction and go back to work. Jakob Chychrun staying put, says Pierre LeBrun. The Coyotes will revisit in the summer. Boom. There's a retweet. 50 retweets after I did that. That's funny. Okay. One final check. All right. We'll see if anything else has been called in, guys. We'll see. Anyway, guys, so I think we're going to put the lid on this trade deadline stream. Thanks so much for joining in, especially for people who have, yeah, you're welcome, Joel. And yeah, thanks for sticking around so much for so long. I know that, obviously here we are just slogging through Twitter, and hopefully you had a great time with us. And if you did, you can show your support with a thumbs up. And see the video description if you want to keep up with me on social media or pick up some merchandise. We just have a new series of coffee mug designs. So if you like to hate on a particular team, then you will want to see the link in the video description because there are some fun rivalry designs that we've uploaded for that. And if you want to show your support in another monetary fashion, my PayPal and Venmo information is in the video description below. So, and thank you, CJ, for your help with moderating the stream here and shouting us out. And yeah, I'll see you guys again, probably, like I said, Wednesday. I usually like to go live for this sort of thing. And yeah, I aspire to upload a video tomorrow. So thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day. And yeah, we'll see how these moves impact these teams going forward. So have a good one, guys.